From the dawn of time, these worlds have known no peace. The new world, home to the most ancient of rivalries. In the old world, cultures clash, and ever the threat of chaos looms. Now these collide. Wars will be fought across unimaginable distances. Now is the time of mortal empires.
Well, hello my friends, I'm Mini Pride from Milk and Cookies Total War, and what an auspicious day indeed. Faith, Steel, and Grimhammer coming your way. Tournament for the next probably 4 or 5 hours. Best of 3 in the first round, best of 5 in the finals, and Chaotic Blizzard coming in with a $20 donation already. Gotta get that Temptation of Slanesh going. Thank you, sir. Very much appreciate the support. So, in round 1, we've got Zack Sane and Sacred Band Mist. Now, Sacred Band Mist is a character, a name you might have heard before. If you remember back in the SFO Grand Tournament we held, I don't know, about 9 months ago, he was the semi-finalist and actually made it all the way to the finals where he fought Cheramis. And guess what? Cheramis is in the finals again today. So 2 of the best players from the SFO Grand Tournament are going to be in this one as well. 4-player tournament today. Zack Sane and Wicked are both going to be the other semi-finalists here, and it should be a really good time. So in the first game, we're on Kolchan Plains. We got Sacred Band Mist and Zack Sane. Greenskins and Dwarfs, one of the most iconic rivalries. It's going to be a good time. So what we're going to do here, as we get started, is bring up our blocker Dogbert just for the memes. Daddy Dogbert going to be hanging out with us. And I'm actually in the spectator slot right now, so I don't think you guys can see their armies anyway, but we're going to put that up just for the funsies, just for the lulz, and we're going to wait for them to set up their armies. And I believe they're actually already almost ready to go, so I'm going to make sure that, I'm going to confirm that everything's all set up, and we're going to get right into the action. It's going to be, I think, like I said, about a 4 or 5 hour stream. It depends how fast the games go, right? If everyone gets 2 and 3-0'd, going to be pretty quick. Otherwise, we could be going the full 3 and 5 games in each series, in which case it will probably be a bit longer. But I'm very excited because I have not held an SFO tournament for a very long time, and obviously this mod is near and dear to my heart. If you don't know too much about Steel Faith overall, or rather SFO Grimhammer as it's been rebranded, it is essentially a mod that kicks up every Warhammer element to 11. If you think of Way Watchers and their long-range killing power, just turn that up to 11. They're going to be murdering stuff from long range with their AP missiles, but they're also going to be relatively susceptible to getting just run over by enemy cavalry and that sort of thing. Think of the monsters, they're going to have more HP, more DPS, but everything in the mod lasts for a bit longer, higher HP pools, more damage output. It makes for quite a spectacle. So it is not perfectly balanced for competitive multiplayer. We are probably going to see a few shenanigans here and there today, but overall, it should be very fun to watch, and ultimately, that's why we're doing this. So, thank you for joining me. We got 650 people in the chat right now, and hopefully that will continue to swell. Please, if you want to help spread the word on SFO, make sure to hit that like button, and that should help boost the stream up higher on the suggestion screen. Justin Lowe with the $5. Thank you very much, my friend. Appreciate the support, and I'm going to make sure that we're confirmed and ready to go, and then we're going to get right into the action. Alright, Sacred Band Mist is saying 1 minute. So how are you guys doing this morning? What have you been up to? Alright, in terms of factions, right here, we got Dwarfs and Greenskins. So Dwarfs are, when you think of their characteristics that make them special in Warhammer Fantasy, it's their tankiness, it's their sturdiness, it's their ability to not get run over by chariots. Unfortunately, in the base game, Dwarfs kind of get run over a little bit. That's definitely a thing. Their mass is not incredibly impactful, and ultimately, if you bring a lot of AP, a lot of chariots, a lot of mobility, Dwarfs can struggle a bit. In SFO, that changes quite dramatically, actually. They have a lot more mass, they are a lot more tanky, and their range DPS is amongst the best in the entire mod. They are brutal from long range, their armor-piercing missiles, their trollhammer torpedoes, a lot of their stuff can put out some serious DPS. So you gotta be really careful when you go in. Yes, you can send chariots in, yes, they can do some work for you, but if trollhammer torpedoes, if thunders get full volleys on you, you're gonna be in for a rough time. So you gotta be very careful on the approach, or you gotta be full YOLO and make sure those back lines just get completely swarmed at the beginning. Alexander with the 25 PLN. No idea what that is. It's gonna be great. Good luck to everyone. Thank you again for the support, my friend. Really appreciate it. Alright, Dawi already missed.
Fortune favors the infamous.
I'm gonna drop that dog blocker right here, and we are about to get into the action. Colin G, indie stage name, Trollhammer Torpedo, confirmed. Slaneshi goodness. We got Sigvald up in here. You know what? I really want to see some Chaos today, because they are one of the most overhauled factions in the entirety of this mod. Chaos can do some serious damage. They got some of the best lord choices in the game. In the base game, Kolek is probably the best. Sartorial's probably up there too. So there's some reflection there in the vanilla game as well. But when you talk SFO across the board, Archaon is amazing. Just an absolute blender lord. Amazing magic. Magic obviously going to be a lot more impactful in SFO than it is in the base game. And remember, we're also playing on 17,000 funds, 40 unit caps. You're going to have bigger armies and a few more elites than you would typically see in generic Total War Warhammer 2 multiplayer. Both players are ready to go. We're going to hit start battle and get right into the action. Welcome, my friends. Faith, Steel, and Grimhammer coming your way all day. It should be a good time. Kolshan Plains is one of my favorite maps in the game. Got a lot of geographical characteristics that make it pretty interesting. Got a few woods here. I don't know if... I think Dawi are actually on the unwooded side. So, it looks like Greenskins are probably going to be going in hot and heavy with some melee Russian, you would think. But that's the cool thing about Greenskins. I personally... They're not my favorite race in Warhammer Fantasy. I don't like their aesthetic too much, but from a playstyle perspective, they have a bunch of ways they can run you into the dirt. The obvious one is the full melee rush with a full wah. You just go in with Black Orcs and shred stuff up with their armor piercing. But there are other ways to play it too. They have chariot play. They do have cav play. They are very versatile with a just very versatile, very variety-filled faction. There's a lot of ways they can tackle an enemy engagement. Chainsaw Gav, someone played Talea and Borgio with the Dragon Hero. Now that is an interesting tournament idea. There are some awesome mods from Kataf. Southern Realms is a really good one that would probably be multiplayer compatible and a lot of fun to mess around with. And actually there is an SFO mod for it as well. I don't know if it's been updated anytime recently, but that'd be pretty sick. We're not gonna do that today, but we definitely could at some point. And we got a huge army here, my god. Look at that balance bar. What is going on? So one thing you will notice is that, as we lock this hide foliage here, one thing you will notice is that SFO armies are gigantic, especially when you're considering the Skaven, the Goblins, those kind of factions. The Swarm, the Horde factions, they have huge model counts, and the balance bar can get awkward. Now, I wouldn't worry too much about that balance bar. There's a weird thing with SFO, and I don't know how to explain it, what the reasoning behind it is, but some units are weighted more heavily in SFO, and the balance bar can get really wonky. Typically, it does not affect army losses or anything of that nature, but we'll see. There is the occasional possibility that one player didn't get all their funds. I don't think that's what happened here. We'll confirm that in a second, but we got Cody Bowen with the $10, and Andrew Lubansky. Thanks for putting out this tournament. Big thanks for all the great content you put out. Thank you so much, my friends. Really appreciate it. Oh my god. I don't want to spoil it quite yet. I'm not going to say anything quite yet. We'll go over the dwarf composition first. In the front ranks, he's got Miners Blasting Charges. This is Zack Sane over here, controlling the Dawi. He's got Thorgrim Grudgebearer, a front line of Ironbreakers, including the Norgrimlings Ironbreakers. Look at that HP pool, guys. Take a look at this for a second. 20,000 HP. They also have Armor Piercing. They have Vanguard Deployment. They are one of the tankiest frontline units in the game. Just absolutely beast. They're just absolute monstrous tanks. They're going to be really fun to watch. We've got Grumbling Guard, Slayers in the back line, a Runesmith, and Thorgrim Grudgebearer. And Thorgrim has some changes in SFO. One of the coolest things he has is the Ancestral Shield Bearer summon. So we can summon the long dead ancestor gods and bring them into the field. Shield Bearers, they're going to be doing damage. They're terror-causing units. They're kind of like Beligars, but they're a full unit of them. Not the hero version, but kind of like a unit they can just summon to protect himself. And he also has the Oath of Vengeance, minus 15 melee defense in an AoE as a Hex. Super good. Echo the Berserker, Blood for the Blood God, Skulls for the Skull Throne. Indeed, my friend, there will be lots of death today. Peak Gate Guard Hammers on his left flank. They have a unique ability in SFO called Bone Crusher. This is what a lot of monstrous infantry and monsters get, but hammers hit like a truck, so it kind of makes sense for Bone Crusher to be a thing. Minus 5 melee defense, minus 25% speed anytime they make contact in melee, and 70 weapon strength with that AP. Alloys with the $10 donation, thank you, my friend. But take a look over here at Sacred Band Mist. My god, the swarm is so real. I have a feeling this is going to be a very quick battle one way or the other. Nasty Skulkers, full Gobos, just ready to absolutely inundate the dwarf line, surround them, and run them over. The 8-peak loonies are here as well. We've got poison attacks and that dwarf on a chain, and they've got Orc Air Boys and Squig Herd as well. So as the battle commences, they're right in each other's face. They are right in each other's face. We got Squig coming in from the flank, and the gyrocopters on Overwatch Brimstone guns might want to shoot out some of those high-value targets in terms of the characters. I will say, Zack is getting a little bit blobbed up right now. Be a little bit careful about that. A Foot of Gork or something could be massive. But I don't see... Okay, yeah, it is an Orc Shaman, and he does have Foot of Gork. He's going to have to be very cautious about that. Zack, I'm not sure, was ready for this Vanguard deployment. Squigs are already into the back line. The front line of Ironbreakers destroying those nasty Skulkers, getting some really good blasting charges in. But here come the Night Goblin Squig Hoppers into the back. Slayers are right there, and there are some meat shields to help block the charge. But that is going to be a lot of bonus versus infantry and AP going their way. Look at these blasting charges just going off everywhere. Night Goblins getting exploded, and Thorgrim Grudgebearer in the thick of everything. A tanky god destroying everything that he can. Urban Chaos will answer that question after this game. Thank you for the donation. Norgrimling's Ironbreakers are actually past the main line and getting some good shots into the flanks of those Night Goblin archers. But here come the Squigs. A swarm of Squigs just completely swarming the dwarfs here. Now, typically, if you're playing the Dawi, you want to have a bit more of a layered formation. You want to make sure that you aren't so compact because it allows you to get flanked easier. My god, when these Squigs come in, it could get really big. That's a huge Foot of Gork. Actually, one-shot his own Night Goblin Squig Hoppers, but did some damage to the Slayers as well. I'm not sure that was worth. But in the center here, Azag the Slaughterer with his Death Magic ready to cast some Spirit Leeches. But Thorgrim Grudgebearer, 25% magic resist. He's going to be able to hold on against those spells for a very long time, and Runesmith also doing a very good job. I'd say that right now, Mist is doing a fantastic job of getting into the back line and swarming with the Squigs. I mean, he literally has a complete surround as the archers fire in. The problem with this, though, is that the Dawi are incredibly tanky, and they're holding on exceptionally well, and if you can't break them early, the leadership of the Greenskins is going to start playing a factor as we get into the mid and late stages of this game, and already you can see wavering on the Greenskin line. A lot of these units are just routing off the bat. I mean, the Dawi are tanky as hell. Balance are definitely in the favor of the Greenskins, but it was from the start. And we got Azag just into melee on foot so it doesn't get sniped. The reason he did not bring Skull Muncher here is because he did not want to get shot by Thunders or Trollhammer torpedoes in the air. Thorgrim is up to 28 kills right now, and over on this flank, I mean, these Ironbreakers, man, 185 kills. It is insane how tanky the Dawi are in this mod. They are beasting it up for sure. I mean, this is just an insane start to the tournament right now. This is completely over the top, exactly as you would expect from SFO Grimhammer. Orc Shaman up to 31 kills. Look at the Look on you works, ye mighty, and despair. This is your foot of Gork, man. That's what you did. You one-shot your own squigs. Painful stuff. Ironbreakers, they do have AP base in SFO, and so they're dealing out a lot of damage as well. They're not just tanky, they're dealing damage too, up to 211 kills. Look at these skirmishers, man. Orc Arrow Boys and a bunch of Night Goblin archers all firing in, but the high missile blast chance and the high armor of the Dawi holding strong for now. I wouldn't say this is the most micro-intensive game so far. The Dawi kind of just ran in and said, you know what, YOLO, we're just going to beast it up here. But Squighopper's coming in from behind, and Thorgrim, Grudgebear, Rune of Negation, going to give him some damage resist, and also a Doom and Darkness for that minus 22 leadership, trying to cause a huge mass rout on the Dawi line. But look at their base leadership, 90, well no, this guy's got 49 right now. Okay, that's actually a lot lower than I thought. It's cut in half right now because they're completely swarmed. But typically, Dawi have about 80 to 100 leadership, so they're not going to rout very easily. Got Thorgrim Grudgebear in here, beasting it up, Orc Shaman in there too, and Azag is doing okay. This swarm of archer units, man. I mean, I've never seen this many archers in a game before. That's what you get when you play at 17,000 funds. Got a Brain Burster going down, and the P-Gate Guard up to 200 kills. Squigs are all on their last legs. It's getting insane here. Bounce Bar back to even. Dawi holding exceptionally well, and all these archers, a lot of them actually, are out of ammunition. The Rusty Airs and Night Goblin archers are already out. Gyrocopter's doing some good work up top. 45 kills on them, 53 kills on the other. And Nasty Skulker's coming back into the fight, getting some really good shots. And the Gyros, I think they're going to go down relatively soon here. Azag is at half HP, a little bit less. Thorgrim at 4,500. I think his base HP is almost 6,000. So again, way more than you'll see in vanilla. And the Norgrimlings Ironbreakers 245 blasting into the center of the Night Goblin archers, and they are just going to completely melt. If you look at the numbers here, 224 left on the Dawi line, still 1,800 for the Greenskins. They deployed with 4,000 troops in a 1v1. That's absolutely insane. I cannot believe how well the Dawi are holding out in this fight. They're completely surrounded. A dark day indeed. 313 kills. The Gabo Swarm grudges are being repaid in full. And honestly, I'd say right now the Dwarfs have the advantage because Mist is losing out on all of his ammunition. These guys need to back up. I'm not sure they're so far forward. But look at the Splub! Everything is routing over on the left flank. P-Gate Guard are absolute heroes here, and they might just hold the line. They've got 5,000 HP left. Absolute monsters. Here, Ancestral Shield Bearer summoned by Thorgrim to help him out in this fight. Waiting in. You know what? I totally forgot about that. I saw zombies and I was freaking out. I was like, is that some kind of bug? That's Azag using the Crown of Sorcery from Nagash to summon undead. That's awesome. We got some necromancy on the field in a greenskin dwarf matchup. A beautiful rear charge coming in from the Night Goblin Squighoppers. And all these archers, what they need to do, I think, is what he's doing. They need to move around to the flank and fire in from the unshielded side of these Ironbreakers. If he can do that, he might be able to turn it, but I will say this is turning in the favor of the Dawi here, and I'm not sure they're going to have enough power to hold on. Here we go. We got Azag at 2,000 HP. The Ironbreakers and the P-Gate Guard have already pushed through just a horde of bodies, both well over 300 kills, and into the fight, and straight into those Nasty Skulkers, and gonna run them over. And their mass and their ability to smack stuff around with the hammers, you'll see those Nasty Skulkers go flying. That's because they've got beastly weapon strength and hit like a truck. And they're just gonna shatter them pretty much off the charge. This is gonna be very hard for the Greenskins to bring it back here, I think. But we'll have to see. If there's a foot of Gork or something left, maybe he's got a chance to bring it back. Orc Shaman is still alive, and Winds of Magic Pool in SFO is huge. So we might be able to, but Bounce Bar is shifting in the favor of the Dawi. They have been absolute heroes in this game so far. Orc Air Boys not racking up a lot of kills, but I imagine they've done quite a bit of damage when paired with those Rusty Airs with that minus 30 armor sundering. And Norgrimlings Ironbreakers pushing forward, about to get up to 400 kills and waiting into melee now. Yeah, Thorgrim's holding on like a absolute monster for sure. 100 kills for him. And these guys are just completely painted head to toe in the crimson of these greenskins. 400 kills now. That's crazy, man. So it looks like the Brimstone Guns are trying to focus down Azag. If they lose their leadership, this game is going to be over, no question about it. Some good chasing coming in from the Norgrimling's Ironbreakers. They're going to run over those Air Boys. But Mist is doing a very good job making sure his leadership stays alive. Both the Orc Shaman and Azag are still around. He is hit by that Oath of Vengeance, but he can't do anything really about all that arrow fire coming in. And those gyrocopters are continuing to rack up the DPS on his Lord, which is not good. I think this is going to be incredibly hard to bring back here, but he is going to get a rear charge into the Norgrimling's Ironbreakers. That might cause some panic, and he has a lot of really cheap troops. They can just run them down. So he doesn't have to overly commit here. I think he needs to kind of pull back, save whatever he can, and then go back into the fight once he kind of has that full surround off. And he got a very good surround off. Footagork didn't do him any favors, though. All the squigs right here, that came down to his own Footagork, just smashing them into paste. Orc Airboys have 24 missile damage. Not a lot of that is AP, though. And the Dwarfs, their HP pools are so huge. Missile block chance is, I think, 30%. And it's going to be very, very hard to shoot them to death. Yeah, Hammerers do indeed have AoE attacks, and they also have the ability to smack things around like Lords. So when they swing their hammers around, essentially you will see enemies go flying because they'll knock them back, which is pretty awesome. And it kind of shows that the Dawi are a lot stronger than your typical race in Warhammer Fantasy. Very small package, but very strong. I will say that. Runesmith, 100 kills himself. That's pretty insane. And you know what? He also brought the Hammer of Draws, I believe. And you know what? That's going to be a mass rout. Dawi are going to take game 1. Wow. They were so tanky in that battle. I've got to say, I think that the Greenskins did a really good job of surrounding him with the Night Goblin Squighoppers, but he might have gone a little bit too Gobbo heavy. I don't think he had enough killing power in that army. And what we saw there was a complete swarm, a complete surround, but the leadership started kicking in because the Dawi kind of withheld and withstood that first assault. And once they were able to do that, they were able to take the game. So that was a crazy start. That was almost 5,000 troops on the field in a 1v1. I am going to appear offline here because I forgot to do that because I'm an idiot. And Zach Sane going to take round number 1. And one day, I will exit out of this battle. That will be great. Yeah, I don't think he had enough AP. I think you need more Black Orcs there. I like the Gobbo build. For the memes, it's awesome, and it's actually pretty viable in SFO as well, because Goblins have a lot more utility and a lot more units in this mod. And Squighoppers and Squig Herd in general, super good against the Dwarfs. Issue I think he had there was that the leadership just kicked in, and they could not withstand all those blasting charges. And if you think about Ironbreakers in this matchup, one of the best picks you can probably have in SFO, because they've got the blasting charges to completely break through those meat shields quickly, and all that low armor stuff just blown to Kingdom Come by all those explosives. I don't know if I'm going to have to restart my game. I'll give it a couple more seconds here, and then I might have to restart. I don't know what's happening. I think someone else might have crashed. Either way, that game was definitely going to Zach. Balance bar shifted all the way. Let me check Discord real quick. We'll go right here to a splash screen. And, oh, game crashed, yeah. Yeah. So, for those of you guys who don't know, if you go into your replay folder and you're playing a modded thing, playing any mod whatsoever, and you go into your replay folder, one of the issues you can run into is that if you try to save it, it'll crash. If you only have replays from like the vanilla game and you're in a modded game when you try to save it, it'll just crash straight to desktop. So what you need to do is if you're playing SFO and you go into your replay folder, you can only have SFO replays in your replay folder. Otherwise, you will crash desktop when you try to access it. So that's what just happened. Zach tried to save the replay and he had vanilla replays in there. So I'm going to have to restart as well because it doesn't look like it's going to get me off the screen. So I will restart. He crashed me. Dang it, Zach. And we'll play a bit of music here. And I'm going to reboot. We got 1,200 people on stream, my friends. Welcome to Faith, Steel, and Grimhammer. Really appreciate you guys coming out. Zach trying to sabotage the stream right at the start. Come on, bruh.
Fortune favors the infamous.
26 suspects with a $2 donation. Thank you, my friend. Alright. We're back in. We're gonna rehost real quick. Sorry about that. Yeah, guys, Cheramis, Wicked, Mist, and Zach, please clear your replay folders if you're gonna save replays, because you will crash if you do not. Gonna rehost right now. Nope, I hosted, that's the wrong thing. So there was a donation earlier. Let me find that real quick. Oh my god, you guys chat, it's so massive. Urban Chaos, 99. Are you 100% that we will get Chaos Undivided in Game 3? Undivided, we already have Undivided. I'm sure you mean Divided, yes. Game 3, 100% is going to be focused around Chaos. It is by far the most logical, really the only logical thing to do. Warriors of Chaos gonna get an overhaul. Demons of Chaos gonna become a faction. How exactly they're gonna do that, I do not know yet, but yes, you're gonna be seeing a lot of God-marked units. The Skull Crushers of Khorne, the Blood Crushers, the Hellstriders of Slaanesh, and a lot of those fun toys. It's going to be pretty sick. Alright, game's back up. We got Sacred Band Mist and Zach, please rejoin. And the second game here is going to be hosted on Galbaraz. Alright, so we got Zack Sane and Mist back in here, and I believe for this second matchup we've got Beastmen and... is it Tomb Kings? It might be Beastmen Tomb Kings. So that's a really fun matchup for a variety of reasons. Beastmen in SFO have been completely overhauled. We're going to bring back our overlay there, and we're going to take a look. All right, so Tomb Kings and Beastmen. Beastmen have a complete overhaul. They have God-marked units, which is one of my favorite things about the entirety of the mod. They've got Slangors, they've got Zongors, they've got Khorngors, and they've got Pestigors, which means that each of the Chaos Gods is represented, which is super dope. So Khorngors, bonus versus infantry, very good in melee as you'd expect from those dedicated to the Blood God. Slangors, incredibly quick, almost, I think 60 speed. They move almost the speed of heavy cavalry. Rock Cauliflower, what do you want some old friends to be? We'll answer that in a question. Thank you for the donation, my friend. Slangors, super fast, high armor piercing, but pretty squishy. Then you got Zongors, magic attacks, and I think they might... I don't think they have a bounce spell, but they have magic resist and stuff like that. And then the Pestigors, very tanky and regeneration as befitting of the Plague God Nurgle. So what do I think the old friend will be? Dude, that's so hard to answer. I honestly have no idea. Ornex Dax with the $100 NOK, or 100 whatever that is. I don't know. Thank you, my friend. Old friends. So if you guys haven't noticed on the FLC chart we just got, I didn't do a video about it because honestly it didn't give us a lot of information. I was kind of like, it's kind of pointless. I didn't want to make a full video about it because we didn't learn very much from it. But there is an interesting little hint there that the old friends are coming as free LC some point later down the line, probably a couple months from now. maybe alongside the most recent DLC, but I'd imagine maybe in one of the later Lord packs would be my guess. And, I mean, that could be anything, right? Like, for a long time, we thought it was going to be Boris or Red Duke as a playable faction. Instead, it was Krell. Not that I was complaining about that, because Krell really needed to help buff up his boy Kemmler. Oh, yeah, my bad. We really needed Krell as an old friend. That was definitely, like, it was nice to see that. But in terms of picking what old friends will be in Game 2, it could literally be anything. We know we're not getting any more race packs in Game 2. We know it's only Lord packs from here on out. There will probably be at least 2 or 3 more Lord packs. So there's really no way to know, and I think guessing at that is kind of pointless. I mean, I've seen stuff like Gotrek and Felix. There's suggestions like that. It could be anything. So I'm not going to venture to guess too hard on that. But in terms of the Lord packs, cross-game Lord packs are still what I want more than anything. There's only one that I think is obvious, and that's Eltharion the Grim and Grom the Paunch as Greenskins versus High Elves, because that'll be a great way to also overhaul the Greenskins. Besides that, it could be really any matchups they want to do. It's entirely possible they don't add cross-game Lord packs at all because of what connotations that might have in terms of DLC. So they might just go Dark Elves versus Skaven this time, or Dark Elves versus Lizardmen, and then flip-flop the race matchups. But then you wouldn't really be getting iconic ones, right? Because like Dark Elves and Lizardmen don't really have an iconic rivalry between them. Yep. Take off time limit. I don't need to. Why do I need to do that? Yeah, I put it. I changed it. Let me confirm. Yeah, so that's another question, right? If they do Eltharion, if they do Eltharion at any point, do they go for the blind variant or the grim variant, or do they combine the aesthetics of both? I'm not sure which one I would prefer, to be honest. I think maybe combining them would be pretty cool. Just combine elements of both lore. So in older editions, Eltharion the blind, well, he was a blind sword master, kind of. He literally had, he kind of looked like Kenshi from Mortal Kombat. He had the whole blindfold over his head going on, would wade in, and would slice stuff up. Eltharion, in more recent editions, rides a griffin into battle. I believe Stormwing is his name. And with his introduction, if that happens, he would also probably bring griffins as a lord choice, or as a mount choice for lords. Which would be pretty nice to have a few more mount choices as well. Dude, I miss Kenshi in MK11, man. He was my favorite character in MK9. He's a little bit OP in Mortal Kombat 9. And I didn't play him too much in MKX, but I've always really loved his aesthetic, and I love samurai and that kind of thing, so kind of sad to not see him there. I don't think we'll be getting him as DLC either, but Nightwolf is coming soon. Probably get back into MK11 after he drops. Alright, so Galbaraz, wide open map. We got Beastmen and Tomb Kings. From the Tomb King side of things, they've got some new toys as well. Legions of Legends have made it from the campaign to the multiplayer side of things, and that means that they have some very powerful regiments of renown to choose from. Not only do they have their, how many is it, 6 or 9 RORs, they've got those Legions of Legend, including the Necropolis Knights, who are very, very strong, very powerful. We might see them here. All right, they're ready. Let's do it. Did someone donate $100? No, I think that was like 100 NOK, which I don't know what that is, but either way, very much appreciated. Always appreciate the support. And we are gonna get stuck in right now. Galbaraz, Tomb Kings, and Beastmen. I'm very interested to see if Mist goes for a kind of Chaos God themed Beastmen army. Norwegian crowns. Alright, we're gonna turn off the music here. And we're gonna get stuck in my boys. Alright, so very open map. You're probably gonna see Bone Giants and or Great Bow Shabti make a pretty big impact here. And great, like fantastic line of sight. But there are also a lot of things you can do with the Beastmen here. So one of the coolest things about SFO is that across the board, Beastmen have Vanguard deployment. So what you might see at the start of this match is them just get right up in your face. And considering what Mist did last game, I'd say there's probably a pretty good chance he's going to want to go Vanguard deployment here, because you want to make sure those Ushabti Great Bows and all those skirmish troops don't have time to fire. So if we take a look at Zach's army, Cetra the God right here on his Chariot of the Gods, 52 melee attack, 450 weapon strength, amazing stat line, 120 charge bonus. He can bowl you over and channel the fury of Patra, the Sun God. He's got a Searing Flame debuff that deals DPS in an AoE whenever he touches stuff and lowers melee attack and armor. That is super, super good. Flaming attacks, magic attacks as well. 120 charge bonus is one of the best in the game. I mean, that Chariot of the Gods is a monster. Over here, Tomb Scorpions. They're going to be Vanguard deploying, maybe, possibly. Or you might want to just keep them close to his line. That Terror, also very important. Once the Beastmen leadership starts to drop, they can start chain routing, which is always nice if you're on the Tomb King side of things. So, we've got a Necrotect to help buff up some of those Tomb Scorpions, make sure that they stay in the fight, and a lot of Nehekar Horsemen. Just gonna tell them not to start until I'm ready with the army compositions. Over on this side, we've got Skeleton Horsemen Archers, and over for the Beastmen and Sacred Band Mist. Goreherd in the front ranks. A lot of Vanguard stuff. Doesn't look like he's going for a full Vanguard build. Best of Goreherd. He has not gone for any of the marked Beastmen units. Interesting. So we're seeing regular Best of Goreherd and Butchers of Kalkengard with that regen, and they cause terror. So these Butchers, these Minotaurs, whatever you want to call them, Cowmen with a ton of DPS. Pretty tanky, very powerful. That's going to be a scary unit for sure. One of my favorite RORs for the Beastmen. And Centaurs with great weapons out on the left flank. So a very heavy melee rush, as you'd expect. Brave Shaman with the Lore of Shadows. Looks like Enfeebling Foe, Pendulum, and Melkoth's Mystifying Miasma, as well as that Arcane Dagger to buff up his own Winds of Magic pool. Destroyers of the Drakwold. The Purple People Eaters over on the right flank. Scrubby little goatmen. They're actually pretty good. They've got poison attacks, which is nice, but they're also unbreakable in SFO. So that's a very nice tar pit unit to help just block up stuff and maybe tie down those Tomb Scorpions and imbue some poison their way. All right, we've got Morgur the Shadowgave. See if he has any new toys in SFO. I'm not 100% sure if he does. Looks like he does. Beastmen Roar, Spirit Essence of Chaos. So that's, okay, no, he's pretty much the same kit as he is in vanilla. Maybe higher physical resistance. Yeah, 10% physical resist based. Every unit in SFO has a base physical resist. I think most are around 5%. Some of them get up to 10. A few of them get up to 20. But that is one way that kind of just makes units a bit tankier than they are in the base game. Alright, there are no Harpies. You are correct. No way to get into those, well, normally you'd say archers, but I think it's very smart for Zach to not bring any archers this game. I think Great Bow Shanti would have been fine, but regular archers would not have been the play. It is so hard to protect them against Beastmen. You guys can start. Good luck. Let's do it. And you know what? I don't think music is playing right now. I'm gonna make sure. Yeah, you know what? I'm glad I checked that, because that crash caused me to reset here. That would have been bad. That would have been too loud. All right. Good stuff. We got a Bestigor Herd charge coming in with Morgur and those Chaos Spawn summons. Skeleton Horsemen out on the flanks to do a little bit of skirmishing. But these Gore Herd, they're moving at 58 speed, man. They are quick. And Beastmen, one of those factions that almost always has the advantage on the balance of power. Even in vanilla, I'm not sure why. I'm not sure what causes it, but take a look. It is in his favor. Not that it mattered last game. It was massively in the favor of the Greenskins, and they still lost. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. Over here, little bit risky there. Melkoth gonna slow them down like crazy, and Centaurs are gonna run over those Skeleton Horsemen. Nice overcast. Really well played from Mist there. Goreherd already into the front of these Tomb Guard with halberds. Can they hold the line against all these Bestigors? My answer at the start of this game is gonna be probably not. I'd say from a pure army composition perspective, I think the Beastmen have an advantage, but it will come down to micro. Goreherd already routing those Tomb Guard, just destroying them. Getting a reanimate upgraded, getting some replenishment going their way from Cetra, and already up to 15 kills, 128 leadership. Butchers of Calcan Guard going right in on top of that Tomb Scorpion, but they might be better suited getting into the back and rear charging the Tomb Guard. But you know what, they can probably kill a Tomb Scorpion pretty quick. Over here, Skeleton Horsemen very close to that white line. They are going to get swarmed here. Nice pendulum, man! From, oh my god, from Mist. That absolutely shredded the Tomb Guard on the right flank. Halberds and sword infantry just completely sized apart by that massive pendulum. Over on this side, Beastmen swarming and destroying the Skeleton Horse Archers. Yeah, they might not have been the right call in this matchup. Gonna be very tough to keep them alive against all that mobility. Cetra coming in from the flank, up to 25 kills. Nice charge there, and he's gonna go right through that formation and continue to rack up the kills here. And there are not a lot of bonus versus large units or high mass units on the Beastman side to tie him down. Cetra might have a field day, so I think we have a good game on our hands here, folks. A huge block of Skeleton Horse Archers firing in. Sensagors, you are not in the right neighborhood, man. Right into the front of Tomb Guard with halberds. You're gonna rout. No question about it. Chaos Mon summons into spears. And on top of the Nakar and Horsemen, they're gonna rout pretty quick. But they're up to 50 kills. It's not bad value generated there. Goreherd into the rear. Nice charge. That extra mobility they have in SFO is so nice. 58 speed is crazy. Just a ton of speed to get in and around the flank. But the front line from the Beastmen is already crumbling. Mist needs to get his ass over here. His cavalry needs to get in behind and start rear charging. Right now, I'd say that Zach is doing a very good job of crushing the frontline engagement, even with that pendulum. And didn't do enough to keep his infantry in the fight. And Bestigor Herd, they've just been destroyed by Cetra the Imperishable on that Chariot of the Gods. His cycle charging from the flanks has completely destroyed them. And I would have said the infantry fight would have clearly gone in the Beastmen's favor, but Cetra has been that X factor, and the Beastmen don't have much of an answer to him. They have Chaos Spawn summons, and they have the Butchers of Calcan Guard, but that's pretty much it. Like, what else on the field can possibly deal with that Chariot of the Gods? Cetra just has free reign right now. Bray Shaman getting swarmed, Tomb Scorpion probably going to be able to mass route these Ungor Spearmen on this flank. Destroyers of the Drakwold are unbreakable, so they'll hold out, but Tomb Kings are in a pretty good position right now. Looks like the leadership is starting to come back for the Beastmen, though, and they are cycling back into the fight. But Cetra has taken no damage, and he has 8,000 HP. I don't know how the Beastmen are going to deal with that, especially when he summons the Wrath of Patra and just carves a path of destruction through the Goreherd. He's already up to 155 kills. Bounce bar is shifting in the Tomb King's favor, and this is getting very, very brutal for the Beastmen. He got another surround off this time, but the front line just caved in so hard for the Beastmen, and I'm not sure the Bestigors can do enough to stop Cetra and his Rampage, who has been the MVP of this game so far. Wow. Yeah, that was nasty. That was really brutal. Fun to watch, though. Some good skirmishing coming in from the Horse Archers, and on this relatively low armor front line, and especially on the highly mobile units like the Centaurs, they're just kind of getting whittled down by all that archer fire. We've got a debuff. I'm not sure what that is. Ah, it's Usef's Incantation of Desiccation. Big debuff on the Bestigors. This is going to make them even more sad as Cetra continues that cycle charging. And he is just demolishing this front line. I mean, look at that. They can't do anything about him. He's a god. This is going to be a mass job for the Beastmen pretty soon. Yep, that's game. Wow, convincing win for Zach there. There was no answer for Cetra the Imperishable and that Chariot of the Gods. Absolutely brutal. Ran them over. And honestly, some immune to psych, some additional AP from those Slangors, I think you want to make use of those Chaos God Beastmen units. I think they would have been really beneficial in this fight. But he needed more mass. There's no question about it. At least one Minotaur with great weapons, and maybe keeping one Cav unit in your back to make sure you just tie down Cetra so he can't get away with all that cycle charging. 200 kills. All of that was on high-value infantry. Bestigors got ran over. And once the Bestigors are gone, Goreherd are not going to trade well into Tomb King's infantry. They're not going to beat that Tomb Guard front line. Especially not these guys. I mean, 153 kills, 72. Nekar and Horsemen did a good job of protecting the back. Tomb Scorpions terror-routed a lot of the Beastmen infantry. Really well played from Zach there. That's going to be a convincing 2-0 win. Tomb Kings take it. Damn. Cetra on fire in that one. Wrath of Petra indeed. What a monster, man. What an absolute champion. That was sweet. All right, Zach, looks like you're moving on, my friend. Well played. So we'll update that challenge real quick and play some sexy, hot Warhammer 2 beats. I love the OST for this game. It's absolutely glorious. Let me check if there are any donations. Don't want to miss any. We got 1,400 people on stream. Welcome, my friends. Thank you so much. And if you're enjoying it, please be sure to hit that like button. It really helps show up on the search engine results page for YouTube. Helps the stream do better. Makes me a happy boy. And you know what? I like being a happy boy. It's fun. Let's go. What should we play? Yeah, Widowmaker's a classic. Let's play that. Get DJ Katap in here to drop some fat beats.
Fortune favors the infamous.
I think I got a donation there, not a... Hasn't shown up yet. Okay, I'll cover that when I can. Don't see it in the chat. All right. We are going to host that second game now. This will be Cheramis. Did I just lose the internet connection? 1 second, guys. Sorry. I will be right back.
Fortune favors the infamous.
Apologies, I was muted. We got a 1,000 yen donation from Fafix666. Thank you so much for the support, my friend. Really appreciate it. And someone asked, what is SFO? It's a complete overhaul mod. It changes every aspect of the game. Every element you can think of. From unit performance to how Winds of Magic works, how much of a pool you get. Introduces a ton of new units and overhauls the campaign completely. So if you're a little bit bored of vanilla, might be worth checking out. I find it very enjoyable. And are we live here? Yeah. Okay, we're on the live now. All right. Cool stuff. For some reason, the internet on my laptop went out, and that's what I'm using to actually read chat. So I had to figure out what the hell was going on with that. But I fixed it. Thankfully, that was a relatively easy fix. I don't know. I don't have two screens. I actually use the laptop as my secondary screen, so it would be a little bit bad if that cut out for whatever reason, but figured it out. Angel Sanchez, or Angel, CA $5 donation. Thank you, my friend. Very much appreciate the support. And we got Wicked and Cheramis going in to match number 2. All right. Bretonnia versus Beastmen, it looks like. I'm going to change the funds here to 17,000. I don't know why it's not saving that. I don't know why I have to change that every single time I join. It's really annoying. I keep thinking, like, because I just hosted a lobby, that it'll save all that information, but it's not saving it. Yes, Eisenhorn is going to be a TV series that has me very excited and very apprehensive at the same time. That's one of those things that could be an absolute nightmare. It could be an absolute trash show. It could be amazing. I am very excited to see 40K finally make it to any kind of television screen in a true dramatic capacity. There have been stuff like the Ultramarines movie. I didn't watch it. I'm never going to. I've only heard bad things. It'd be kind of pointless. But I'm very excited to see Inquisitor Eisenhorn. I read his entire omnibus. I think his lore and his story arc is incredible and could fit amazingly into a television show. But we'll just have to see. It might not even get picked up by a channel. It might never make it to the small screen in the first place. It's really if someone like Netflix or Amazon decides to pick them up. But it is a great time for TV. I will say that. There are a lot of shows that are finally making it in to the public sphere for the first time. Has me very pumped. All right, good luck, have fun, boys. We got Beastmen and Bretonnia. So I have a feeling we'll see some Chaos guys from the Beastmen in this game. Bretonnia, their knights, very, very powerful, very impactful, but low in number. So stuff like Grail Knights, for example, way smaller model count, way more powerful on a per model basis. Gods is Love duet. I friggin' love your channel and commentary. Aw, thank you, my friend. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. We got 1,300 people on stream. Thank you guys so much for coming out and hanging out with me on this fine Sunday afternoon. Romulan Dog, with some of the recent balance changes and the news of things to come, who do you feel the New England Patriots will play in the Super Bowl for their 7th ring? Well, my friend, I sincerely hope that one day they find a cure for Patriot fan syndrome. It's a cruel disease that afflicts millions of Americans, and I can only hope that eventually they find a cure. Because it is a brutal, brutal disease, and I feel bad for anyone who has contracted it and enjoys their Robert Kraft shenanigans. What was the fallout from that, by the way? Did Bobby Kraft get in some trouble about them prostitutes in that massage parlor? Feels weird, man. All right. In terms of army compositions, we've got Wicked with a heavy foot squire front line. He's got 4 of them and a swarm of peasant mob. We've got huge armies, too. We've got almost 4,500 troops on the field. Holy Wardens of La Masantel Abbey, a very important location in the end times. 44 weapon strength. They actually have AP in SFO. I did not know that. So they hit pretty hard. And they have the Peasant's Duty. 5% physical resist and +5 melee attack, which can activate when their leadership is above 50%. Got Herabolts. Okay, these are a very interesting unit. These are kind of they're kind of like Deepwood Scouts. They're kind of like Robin Hood. Robin Hood's merry band of Haremults, essentially. And do they have fire? Yeah, they have snipe. Do they have fire while moving? Vanguard? Yeah, these are basically Deepwood Scouts. But if they're near your own troops, this outlaw debuff will actually affect your peasants, because regular Bretonians hate these kind of guys. So the knights and the regular peasantry, I believe, all hate the Haremults. So there's like a weird kind of cool counterplay when you can bring those and get really cool archer units, but you want to keep them separate from the main line. Knights of the Realm on the right flank, Defenders of Fleur-de-Lis, Knights Errant, and over on the side, Lost Sons. Awesome. That's so cool. Okay, this is a new unit in SFO. Kevin Flat, I asked a question with a donation earlier. My apologies, I did not see it. I asked if you thought Warhammer 3 would be 2020, and if you thought Total War Warhammer 40k would happen. Well, I made 2 videos about Total War Warhammer 40k already, so yes, I do think that's going to happen at some point. When? I have no idea. I hope it happens. Maybe it will never, but I sincerely hope that it does. And in terms of when will Warhammer 3 come out, my guess right now would be Q3 of 2020. So, like, maybe a year from now would be my guess. But hard to know. Lost Sons are a kind of like a paladin unit. You can mount them up, or you can keep them on foot. He's decided to keep them on foot here. And they are... Crap, I need to talk to them about that. If you guys are listening to stream, don't start until I say start. I want to go over army comps. They've got bound spells. They've got Earthblood, and they've got Harmonic Convergence, and they basically use spells to help bolster up their main line. Over on the other side here, we've got Korok's Manripper Bestigor Herd, Cheramis, Gore Herd front line, Blackhorn's Ravagers, Vanguard deployment, Perfect Vigor, Harpies to swarm into the back line, and we've got some Centigor's Great Weapons in the center. Gorbull, Daddy Gorbull. CA, when are we getting a Dooble? When are we getting a Gorgon? Please, can we get some of that action, boss? It would be really nice. Centigors with great weapons in the back line, Goreherd front line, and Harpies everywhere. In terms of the Lord choice, it is Malagor the Dark Omen, and summons work the exact same as last patch. Not this one, which means when you summon them, they do not have a timer where they just disintegrate immediately once it's all said and done. They will degrade over time, but in SFO, because the essentially HP pools are so much larger, stuff like the Cygor summon, they're going to be in the fight for a lot longer and make a much bigger impact on the battle. Beastmen pulling away, trying to rethink how they want to go into this engagement. Looks like this is all in one control group. He does have the Butchers of Kalkengard, and it is going to be a very heavy melee rush. He's just going to completely swarm in here. He's got a Brave Shaman of the Lore of Shadows and a Cygor summon going out, but he's just going straight in. He might use that just for the terror. Goreherd gonna run over the peasant mob in seconds. I'm interested to see how many peasants the Bretonians brought this game, because in an infantry fight, I don't think they're gonna have much of a chance of winning. It'll come down to the knights and those charges, but here we go. Oh, a nice Cygor shot hitting the defenders of the Fleur-de-Lis. He is going straight in, gonna get a full charge off. But those are AP units, and that might not be a great trade for the Knights of the Realm, especially when Enfeebling Foe goes down. Cygor Rock's going in, and already on the left side, everything is swarming, and he's going to try to break through and get right into the back of those Peasant Archers and those Haremults as well. So he's going in, Centigor is going forward, the Knights are going to pull back, and Peasant's going to try and layer that defense and block the charges, but it looks like the Haremults are just going to get completely swarmed here. I think Wicked might have gone too heavy on the infantry, but remember, he's got Albrecht de Bordelot, plus 80 armor and 30 melee attack on that Harmonic Convergence. Harpies easily swarming into the back line, and Beastmen are completely running over the infantry, as you would expect, but Bretonians holding a lot stronger on the flanks. So he's going to need to get these Knights out and continue cycle charging. I mean, he is getting completely swarmed in the center here. Cygor gets some really good shots in and up to 13 kills. Albrecht might be able to snipe out some lords here, though. Malagor would be in a lot of trouble if Albrecht decided to land on top of him. Heroic Killing Blow, so strong. Can really buff up his leadership. But yeah, this is looking pretty bad for the Bretonians right now. I mean, just pure melee rush. There has not been a lot of kiting or missile play in this tournament so far at all. And the Knights here just got completely run over I think this just came down to build. It's not over yet, not by a long shot. But I will say, I think Bretonnians went too heavy on the infantry, and they're getting punished pretty hard. You can't trade into Beastmen infantry with peasants. It's just not going to work. Even foot squires aren't even trading that well into Goreherd, and they shouldn't. Like, Goreherd are going to be a more numerous and harder to deal with infantry unit because they've got 60 speed. Albert going after Malagor the Dark Omen, trying to snipe him out, but Butchers of Kalkengard are right there. Very nice play from Cheramis to swarm in. Albrecht might get pinned here, and then Gorbel on top of him as well. Oh, beautiful play from Cheramis. And yeah, Albrecht's gonna die. When he routes, this game's gonna be over. And that was a relatively one-sided affair. I will say that. The swarm from the Beastmen, too much to deal with, and Bretonnians just gonna route. Gotta go heavier on the cav, I think, especially in SFO, or that's gonna happen to you, especially against a full rush army like that one. And the battles are so quick here because Goreherd have 58 speed. They just get right into melee, and if you don't have the infantry to hold the line, you're just gonna mass route, and that's what's happening right now. It's gonna kick in real soon. Army losses, gonna get a nice charge in on this flank, and probably kill off some Centaurs, but Albrecht will not be able to carry this. And even with that Trident, a board low. Gonna be too much for Wicked in this first game. So hopefully he can bounce back in game 2. But yeah, the double Cygor summon to kind of push that army losses into the ridiculous territory there. Yeah, it hurt. Definitely hurt. Super quick game. Bretonnians gonna get run over. And look at those Goreherd kills, man. 300 kills almost across the board. 150, 125, 240, 287. That was brutal. It happens. Yeah, dude. The Beastmen mobility in this mod is crazy. That and the Vanguard deployment. But it doesn't always work out, right? Like we saw last battle, Tomb Kings stuffed them with that frontal assault. But yeah, I will say Bretonnia and Beastmen to an extent for sure. High micro factions in SFO. They're not easy to use. Some Grail Knights there would have been really beneficial, and I think you want to avoid that infantry fight for as long as possible and just kind of spread the field, cycle charge as much as possible. Grail Knights getting into that front line, cycle charge Goreherd for days. He didn't have that much that would be great at taking on Grail Knights in a 1v1 fight. Gorbel, for sure, Cygor summons would do some damage to them as well. But yeah, I think that just came down to builds, which is a big part of Warhammer 2 in a nutshell. Army composition is incredibly important, more so than a lot of other Total Wars. Yeah, that was... Alright, so, interesting game, but a very quick one. And we're going to go into the second map here, so let me take a look at what that is. It is going to be on Mortis Wastes. So we've got some desert action on this. Now, he is playing Dark Elves in the second game, and I will say I believe Dark Elves are a stronger faction than Bretonnia in SFO from a multiplayer perspective, which is probably true of Vanilla as well. But the interesting thing, and one of my favorite points of balance in either Vanilla or SFO, is that Bretonnia, they might be considered one of the, probably on the weaker spectrum. Maybe like, if there was S tier, which is like all the best factions in the game, I'd say Bretonnia is maybe like A- or B tier. They're not horrible by any means. They can take on most factions in the game and do well. Chaos is a bad matchup for them. They have a couple bad matchups. But the Elves, Bretonnia, matches up very well against all three Elves in both SFO and Vanilla, which is pretty cool. Grail Knights are a big part of that. Their mobility and their speed and their game-changing charge bonus and magic attacks can shred through physical resist, which Elves rely on. Small HP pools equals dead when Grail Knights charge in. So they have an advantageous matchup against the Wood Elves, against the High Elves, and probably against the Dark Elves too, which I think is pretty cool. And obviously the Elves are some of the strongest factions in multiplayer, so as it's kind of been like a trend in recent years, it's very much a rock, paper, scissors matchup. There can be bad factions in the game that like don't match up well against a lot of the cast, but it can match up really well against some of the best factions in the game. I find that very interesting. So we got Dark Elves and Greenskins in Game 2 here. I would like to see one of these series go to Game 3. The finals will be best of 5, so it'll be first to 3 there. At the moment, Cheramis is 1 game away from taking it. Can Wicked bring it back and force a game 3? We'll find out soon enough. Does Brett always need heavy cav up against rush armies in SFO? Well, Bretonnia has some of the worst infantry in the game. Even foot squires aren't meant to trade incredibly well. When I say that, they can trade well into heavily armored infantry that doesn't deal a lot of damage. So like chosen halberds, foot squires would probably be a decent trade there because they cost twice as much and you're getting all that AP bonus versus infantry going their way. But yeah, I'd say in general, if you're going up against a rush army, I don't know if that, is that for, I'm gonna change that. If you're going up against a rush army, very important to have cav that can deal with that stuff. And there, I don't think Knights Errant and a few Knights of the Realm is gonna cut it. I think you need a bit more heavy cav. So one Grail Guardian, maybe a couple Grail Knights would have really helped out tremendously. And not taking a engagement super early on. The problem though, one of the things that I think Wicked ran into there is that the Cygor summons kind of change the complexion of the game. So if you sit back as Bretonnia, then the Cygors can kind of pick you off. So I think just going more heavy cav and then getting one of those into the back line to kill those would have been pretty useful. Yeah, for sure. Bretonnia can definitely rush, 100%. But I think you might need some more heavy cav there to do it. Good luck, have fun, my boys. Good luck, have fun. Kamal Jones asks, do you think that they will incorporate actual demonic incursions into the Vortex campaign once Demons of Chaos come out? Excuse me. I do not know if Demons of Chaos are going to make any impact on Game 2 whatsoever. My guess would be no. Just like Warhammer 2 made no impact on Warhammer 1, the Vortex campaign isn't going to be a thing in Game 3. It's probably going to have its own contained map as the Game 3 campaign. It's going to be its own separate thing, right? So it'll be the Darklands, Mountains of Morn, maybe like a portion of Kislev if they like kind of turn it, and Chaos Wastes is going to be like the focus of Game 3's campaign. So that'll be its own self-contained one. In terms of Mortal Empires, yes, Demons will have some interplay with the Vortex, I would think. The Vortex campaign itself, no, because that's a Game 2 campaign and won't have any bearing on Game 3, and vice versa. Yeah, balance bar, crazy. Oh my god. This is gonna be... this is gonna be so interesting. I don't even know. Okay, let's go over army compositions. Malekith, the Destroyer, on Seraphon, the Black Dragon, roaring his displeasure to the heavens, 600 weapon strength, 85 leadership, 90 armor, absolute monster. Oh my god, Seraphon, you beautiful, sexy bastard. I mean, he's gonna munch through the Gobbo hordes for sure. Harganeth, Executioners, and Blackguard front line, that's it. There are no meat shields. Fafix 666 with the 1,000 yen donation. With Cathay, Chaos Dwarfs, Ogre Kingdoms, and Demons of Chaos in some form, what other factions do you think we'll see? I think Kislev is a good guess. I don't know for sure, but I think Kislev is going to be a Game 3 faction. After that, there's not a lot in terms of races left, but there's a lot in terms of legendary lords and units that you could do. And then there's the whole End Times thing, which of course, very controversial element of Warhammer Fantasy. But I think there are ways to do it where you get a lot of the units and lords without ending the setting, which I think would be a great way to add more content. But I don't think there's going to be a lot of race packs in Game 3, because there are not a lot of races left, period. Nagash might get his own faction. Besides that, I don't think there will be much more on top of that. But there will be a lot of lord packs, overhaul to Warriors of Chaos, I can almost guarantee, and some other stuff like that. Alright, so Executioners, front ranks, they're good for one thing and one thing only. Blending infantry, bonus versus infantry, and AP. And I believe they have Killing Blow in SFO. They do indeed. That's straight from the tabletop. Gives them unbreakable and 15% AP damage and weapon damage for a 15-second duration. Black Guard of Naggarond. Also complete beasts. Halberd Infantry. Sons of Naggarond. Unbreakable. And Murderous Mastery. Now let me see. Target if... Oh, it makes their lords and heroes unbreakable. That's pretty cool. Back behind that, we've got some Clever Girl Chariots. Cold One Chariots from Wicked. These guys also blend infantry very nicely, and he's going to need it because there's an obscene amount on the other side of the field, and Harpies and Dark Riders as well. For Cheramis, the original SFO Grand Tournament winner, it is a massive horde of gobos. The Goblin Tide is so real. Durkat Squigs over here, bonus for infantry and AP. A lot of Nazi Skulkers, Night Goblin Archers, a Big Mama Spider, the Arachnarok Queen herself. Orc Big Guns do have AP in SFO. More Orc Big Guns there. Got Azag on Skull Muncher, so there will be an aerial duel. I don't see zombie summons from him this game. Not sure he knew about that. Maybe Crown of Sorcery is just an item. And then Squig Herd and Night Goblin Squigs out on the left flank. Okay, so what this is going to be, this is pure elite tier Dark Elf Blender Lords against the Goblin Tide. This could not be two more disparate styles of combat. We saw how it worked out for the Dwarfs in the first game of the tournament. I'm going to be very curious to see how it works out here. Balance bar heavily in favor of the Greenskins, but that's irrelevant. Again, like that balance bar hasn't meant jack crap the entire tourney so far. So I think we should probably just ignore it. The Black Dragon, if used well, is going to have a field day this game. Those breath attacks could kill hundreds with each cast. Yeah, I think that analysis is probably correct. It would have been very hard to micro against that many high-speed movers. It looks like a massacre, sir, but remember, SFO elites have lower model counts and better stats. So I would not be surprised to see them bowl through this entire horde. At the same time, it is a very, very risky move. Because those Squigs will probably beat the Dark Riders in a 1v1 fight. Malekith is going to have to be used so well here. He's going to have to terror about them anytime they go in. Otherwise, yeah, I mean, a full frontal charge from Durkat Squigs is going to kill those Harganeth Executioners in seconds. So, there's no question, this is a very risky build. He has no meat shields. He has nothing to absorb the frontal charge. This could be a massacre, or it could be a very impressive Dark Elf infantry force just holding the line for a long-ass time. I'm going to say, looking on paper at the builds, I do think Greenskins have an advantage, but I thought they had an advantage in the first game against the Dwarfs, and they managed to hold it out. Dark Elves, substantially less tanky, though, so might not quite have the same benefit here. But they have a lot more DPS, and that is going to be a huge factor in this one. But I'm very curious to see what Malekith and Seraphon can do. There's... I mean, I can't remember the last time I saw such a massive disparity between model counts in armies. 550 for the Dark Elves, 2,700 for the Greenskins. Here we go. Do you think they should put all previous campaigns in Total War Warhammer 3? Maybe, but they're not going to do it. It's just that simple. They're not going to do it. Haven't done it for Game 2. Don't see why they would do it in Game 3. Alright, we got Dark Riders and Harpies moving out to the flank. They're going to have their hands full. But those Chariots, they could do some serious damage this battle. Because there's not a lot of cavalry on the field that can actually tie them down. And I'd say these Chariots might be the X factor in this game. It looks like an Overcast Spirit Leech going down on the Sorceress of Death. The Arachnarok Queen will beat up those Cold Ones if she gets an attack in. And you know what? There's also the Smoke Bomb. So that in combination with all the AP from the Squigs could probably handle the Chariots. But it's risky, man. If those Chariots are given free reign to run through stuff, they are going to rack up a lot of kills, like what Cetra did last game.
Fortune
I got a donation. I'll be covering all those donations at the end of the stream as well. Nathan Hewitt with the $20. Much love, brother. Glad to catch you live. Slaneshi goodness got me hooked. Hell yeah. Thank you so much for the support, my friend. Malekith on Overwatch. What spells does he have? So he has brought Destroyer, which means if he gets in a 1v1 fight with Azag, he's going to murder him. Beautiful Gaze of Malice there. Going to cut those Orc Era Boys' HP in half. And I like that he's being... Oh, don't forget your Harpies. Pull them back. Yeah, I like that he's kind of playing this cautiously right now. He's going to have to commit relatively soon here because... other side has archers, of course, and he doesn't have any skirmishers. But Malekith and Destroyer, Soul Stealers, could be huge on a big blob of Orc Big Guns and all those Night Goblins. Executioners starting to get melted. Would have liked to see maybe those Cold One Chariots go forward to kind of screen for them. This could be rough. This could be rough. It's going to be a frontal charge into Executioners here. But he's going to get a really good one with the Cold One Knights as well. Dark Riders and Harpies catching out Dirk and Squigs. And just busting right through. Could maybe get into the back line here. Very nice. Cheramis going to shift everything over to the right flank. Things are popping off. Executioners going in. Cheramis doing a very smart move. Pulling back the big guns because he knows he can't win that fight. Don't commit. But Dark Elves swarming the Greenskin left flank. And I love this move. He's just going to break the army down piece by piece. Break down the left flank first, chase them off, and then swing in. Dark Riders in a bad spot. They're going to get swarmed pretty hard. And a Soul Blight going down on not too many melee units, honestly. Just the Orc Era Boys. Dark Riders are going to get smashed. Breath attack into this. Oh, do it for me, daddy. Do it, Seraphon. A nice job on this flank, though, and a nice Gaze of Malice as well. But Blackguard and Executioners, as they push through, they are getting swarmed. Tale of two flanks here. Dark Elves breaking the Greenskins' right flank. Greenskins swarming on the Dark Elves' right. And they are coming in hot and heavy now. Squig's going to get into those Executioners. Malekith's going to need to be right there and catch him out. Azag on Overwatch. Cold One Chariots looking to get in there. They could get swarmed, but Malekith coming in. And that's going to be a good fight for the Dark Elves for sure. I think this will work out pretty well for him. Especially if he gets a Soul Stealer down. And he will. Azag going to take so much damage. And he has no hope of beating Malekith in a 1v1 fight. Destroyer going his way. He has no way to regen that either, but the Greenskins are coming back on that flank. Executioners, Killing Blow pops. They're going to get Unbreakable up to 100 kills right now. He needs to make sure Azag dies. He cannot give him free reign. But if he breaks this flank here, gets into the back of the Arachnarok Queen, could be huge. Not doing a lot of damage to her right now, though. Cold One Chariots, run over those Nasty Skulkers maybe, and Murderous Prowess has popped. It is getting crazy in here. Azag might go for a rear charge. Gaze of Malice going off again. Cutting through those Night Goblin Archers. And Dark Riders holding for now, but about to break. Zombie summons. There we go. So he does have some zombie summons. Crown of Sorcery is on the field. The Wyvern into the fight. And it looks like those Executioners, after Killing Blow is worn off, are going to get swarmed and die. But Dark Elves looking so strong right here. This pocket of Dark Elves doing so well, and Malekith, he just mass routed that Arachnarok with Doom and Darkness. Minus 22 leadership is huge. You know what he's gonna do. He's gonna chase that Mama Spider off the map. Super smart. Very good move. The problem with that, though, is that if he... Okay, he's really close to the white line. That's good. If he had to chase him across the map, he'd be leaving all these guys isolated, but it looks like... Oh, no, the Arachnarok. She's back in the fight. And she's got bonus for Slarge. Oh no, summons as well. Poison going the way of Malekith. He's going to need to run. Ooh, that hurts. That's a lot of wasted time. And it wasn't a waste. It was the right call for sure. But the Arachnarok managed to come back and rally right there at the white line. That's a huge swing in the Greenskins' favor. Not over for the Dark Elves. Blackguard are holding really well. They're up to... How many kills do they have? Just swarmed by zombies. They have 100 kills. Cold One's coming in for a rear charge here. Take a look at that one. Oh god, that was the most elliptic charge I've ever seen. What happened? Executioners get in there too. Wah's gonna pop. Oh, Greenskins. They look like they might be in the ascendancy here. They weather the Dark Elf Storm, and the Arachnarok is coming back at full HP. Can Malekith terror route this and kill off Azag? If the leadership for the Greenskins dies, they could bring this back. And he's got all kinds of Winds of Magic left. I've not seen a Black Dragon Breath attack yet at all. It could be so big here to turn the fight. Doom and Darkness hit everything on the Greenskin line. Harpy's doing a good job tying down all the skirmishers, but your Ragnarok is the biggest threat on the field, and I'm not sure he has the tools to take her down. Malekith getting Spirit Leeched. He's going to need a huge Soul Sealer to turn this. I'm not sure he can. The last stand of the Dark Elves is here. They're terror routing, and it looks like Greenskins are about to take this game. Seraphon getting in there now. Going for Azag. Oh, that's a nice little bait. Destroyer. Ooh, yeah, Azag's going to be able to escape. That's going to go in the way of Cheramis and the Greenskins. And the Dark Elves are going to get sent out of this tournament here. Army losses about to kick in. Very well played from Cheramis. There's a reason he won the last SFO Grand Tournament. Super well played. I really liked how he kind of allowed his middle to get crushed a bit. Pulled back the big guns. And as soon as that Ragnarok came back, huge swing back in the Greenskins' favor. Rear charge into Malekith. Sealed the deal. From there, it was game, set, match. 2-0 for Cheramis. And that will mean Wicked is out. But a good showing in that second game. Greenskins did too much there. I think that was an interesting pick there. I like the elite army. We've seen it work in this tournament already. In that case, I think the bodies and the AP were too much for the Dark Elves to deal with. Greenskins had so much AP on the field. Even the regular mainline infantry, big guns, were going to trade pretty well to stuff like Blackguard and the Squig Herd. I mean, 54 kills on elite Dark Elf infantry, that is always going to be worth it when you're paying 500 for a unit. Very, very well played. Thank you for the kind words, Urban Chaos. Very much appreciated. Love the stream, love the channel. Even my other half knows your voice to hear. Appreciate it, man. All right, so it looks like we're shaping up to have a best of 5 between Zach and Cheramis in the finals of this tournament. Well played to both Wicked and Cheramis here. And I think we'll just have Zach join this lobby if we can. Gonna play some music, and we will be back in just a minute.
Mighty Sigma, savior of the Empire, give me strength. For though I dedicated my life to eradicating it, it feeds, it grows, devouring all. There must be a final answer to halt its advance. But the tide of war seems endless. twisted ambitions of the undead. Though the brave dwarven kingdoms stand with us, truly, what hope is there against countless horrors that cannot be named, let alone fought by mortal means? All this is nothing before what is to come. It whispers and roars in. The dark it is. Against us it is unstoppable. I am unstoppable. I see it now. The beasts that will devour the world.
All right, we're back into the action. We got a $10 donation. Let me find this, my homie. What's going on? From John Stevens, watching in bits, but the battles look great. Thank you, man. Appreciate you coming out and watching. Got 1,200 on stream right now. Hopefully those 200 we lost during the break will come right on back. We're on the high pass. We're into the finals of the Faith, Steel, and Grimhammer SFO tournament. Zach Sane and Cheramis going at it at a best of 5. And we are on high pass in the deep, dark, frozen tundra of the far north. And looks like it'll be High Elves and Chaos in game 1. Confirm it's on 40 unit cap. That is Daddy Dogbert, community manager for Creative Assembly, a legend. Dude, I would pay exorbitant amounts of money to have Dogbert as a legendary lord in Warhammer 2 or 3. As a Dogs of War legendary lord, in fact. Alright, cool. So we're getting in Chaos and High Elves. This is a very interesting matchup. I actually think it's Chaos favored, but I'll be very curious to see what Cheramis can do with the High Elves. Zach's going to have his work cut out for him, honestly. Cheramis is a really good player. Apparently he is in the finals of the ECL as well. So not only is he a beast in SFO, he's also very good in vanilla. And he won our last grand tournament for this mod. So yeah, he is going to be a tough nut to crack. But Zach and Chaos will be trying to do that in game 1 on High Pass. Can he do it? Yeah, so there's a lot that goes on in this matchup. For one, Chaos Knights, I believe, have flaming attacks in SFO. They also have bonus for Sludge and AP. They don't want to have flaming attacks in the matchup against Dragon Princes, though. Problem with that is that Dragon Princes have, I think, 70% resistance to fire. That's very, very bad if you're fighting in a 1v1 fight. You don't want to be giving them Flaming Sword of Ruin either. So yes, you will cut through their physical resist, but you'll be running into 70% flame resist. So probably not a good trade for Chaos Knights. But both are very expensive, so they might not go for heavy cav in either way. I think Chaos Knights should be going, or I think Chaos should be going Chaos Knights in this matchup, honestly, because they're so good against dragons. They have so much mass. They can cause so much carnage to pretty much every unit on the field. But in the particular 1v1 matchup between DPs and Chaos Knights, I'd say Chaos Knights don't really come out on top too easy. It's only 25%? Are you sure? Maybe it's just the Fireborn that are 70%. Either way, it's a lot. It's very high flame resist. Oh, you don't want... Don't tell me to get rid of... Oh, fine. I'll get rid of Dogbird. Okay, I guess we can do that. I'm not going to be able to see builds anyway. So it's been 2-0s in both match 1 and match 2. I would very much like to see this go to game 5. Fireborn are 50. Venerous put it way down for some reason. Okay. It's good to know. And they are building armies as we speak. So let me know in the chat right now, if you've played SFO before, what is your favorite unit or faction in the mod? I think overall, the Lord I've enjoyed the most in terms of their overhaul, their makeover, might be Sigvald. Sigvald in vanilla is, well, shall we say vanilla, which is heresy of the highest order when you consider what Slaanesh is all about. Slaanesh is many things. Vanilla is not one of them. But in the base game, he is a Footlord with very minimal mass, does not move quickly, is not a particularly amazing duelist. He's certainly not bad. He's got regen, but he just kind of gets like caught up in pretty much any meat shield and just dies horribly. And when I say dies horribly, as in like his whole army will be dead, he'll be the last guy alive, and then he won't make any impact, he'll just auto-route instantly because of army losses, which is like very meh. In SFO, he, in his current iteration, probably a little bit OP. He's got a net that works at 50 meters away called Enchanting Beauty, which will pin an opponent, a single entity, a monster, a Chaos Knight unit, really any kind of cav unit, any kind of infantry, any unit in the game, he can pin in place, which I've already talked to Venerous about it. I think that should get changed. It should be more like a 10-meter thing that only works on heroes or lords. But he's super strong. He's also got a AoE debuff that is incredibly powerful. Got a donation, PLN, $10 from Alexander. Looking forward to the finals. Good luck, have fun to everyone. Thank you, my friend. Very much appreciate it. He's got a AoE debuff called Visions of Pleasure, which lowers weapon damage, armor, melee defense, like a bunch of stuff in an AoE. Super good. Super strong. And not only that, he's got a gold shield and a lot more mass and a lot more speed. I think he runs about 55, 56 speed in SFO, which is almost as fast as Heavy Cav, which is nice because I think he is movement 6 or movement 7 on tabletop. Probably movement 6. And that's closer to where that should translate to. So it's nice to see that. Vampires as well, same exact thing. Footlord vampires will move at about 60 speed. So they can almost catch up to enemy Heavy Cav. Which makes sense, because they are superhuman. That's the entire point of them. Sigvald, all about that speed, that precision, that armor piercing, and that immune to psych. Those are like the 4 things that make up what Slaanesh is all about from a battlefield perspective. I'm going to ready up I'm ready to plop this thing into action. Tyre, I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. I have not played multiplayer on what day is it? Is it 20? It's the 21st. I have not played vanilla multiplayer on Total War for at least a week. So I don't know what you're talking about. Alright, 1,300 people on stream. Let's check chat real quick. They're ready. Let's do it. Chaos versus High Elves. Azur and the Dark Gods themselves. I am very curious to see what Lord choice he goes for. So, Chaos Lords in SFO. Incredible choices to pick from. Sigvald's amazing. Really good as a Foot Lord, which is awesome because I like Foot Lords being good. Also has additional knockdown resistance and mass, so we can't get pushed around and bullied so much. Then you got Sartorial, who's a god in vanilla, and also amazing in SFO, and has some new Tzeentch spells. Unholy Pact the Changer, and his own version of Chaos Chosen, the Tzeentch ones, can actually summon Chaos Spawn, which is really cool. And then there's Kolek, who is, Kolek is Kolek. Absolute beast. And Archaon. With that Slayer of Kings, one of the best duelists in the game. Slayer of Kings can get him up to, I think, like 800, 850 weapon strength. And then he can go even further with Flaming Sword of Ruin and buff himself up even further. I mean, he can just get absurd stat line. And his fire magic actually deals damage. So you can do stuff like Flame Storms, which will delete units if it lands well. No one has played the Lizard Boys yet. I would like to see them at some point in this tourney. Check chat one more time. Alright, let's do it. We're getting into the action here on a high pass. It looks like Zach is going to have home court advantage in the snows. Can the Azur from Ulthuan invade and take the field? Most of the games we've had in this tournament so far have been crazy fast and all focused on rush. I think we'll get more of the same in this matchup. High Elves versus Chaos. Chaos only knows one thing. Go forward and slay for the Dark Gods. Pretty much all they do. I think there might have been a donation that I missed. Let me check. Nope, I called that out. Yeah, Tic-Tac-Toe's campaign is super fun. I need to finish that campaign, don't I? It won't be many parts left. I think maybe one. I might just fast forward a bit, cut through some of the bullcrap. But there will be at least one more campaign part to finish it up, for sure. We will finish that thing. Alright, in terms of army comps. We've got Gorby's Chariots, Gorillas, just beastly. Monstrous Chariot, 80 weapon strength, 100 charge bonus, huge mass. 12,000 HP. Aracrastic used that thing against me and crushed me. Last time I played this matchup, which was actually, I think I uploaded it this week. Then we've got Sartorial, the Everwatcher himself. So he's got two new spells in SFO Grimhammer. He's got Soul Leech of Tzeentch, which causes damage, lowers melee defense, and magic resist. And Unholy Pact the Changer. Can heal his own units, give them magic resist, and immune to Psych. He cannot summon Chaos Spawn, but he does have Enfeebling Foe and Final Transmutation. So he's got a mix of Lore of Shadows and Lore of Metal. And here, Summoners of Rage. Chain Lightning, big ward save, high AP, bonus for Slarge, huge mass. He's got a very powerful anti-large goon squad ready to go. Marauder Horsemen and Throwing Axes have that AP to deal with that Star Dragon. And over here, Chaos Marauders, 5 of them. And Mirror Guard in there as well. Mirror Guard are the elite Slaneshi Chosen, kind of. I guess they're not the Slaneshi Chosen, they're the ROR. But they've got a couple unique abilities. Coordinated Carnage gives units and, well, heroes and lords additional weapon damage and AP. They got Chaotic Blessing, which all Chaos units have base. This is their faction trait. And then Ward Save of 15%. And Gold Shield. Huge missile block chance. Over on the right flank, more Marauders with throwing axes and some Chaos Warhounds. And that is the Chaos build. So his infantry line is going to get absolutely dominated. I think maybe he didn't quite invest enough into that. We'll see soon enough. Over on the other side, High Elf Infantry, beastly. White Lines of Krace are not the mid-tier units you see in vanilla. They are actually much more on par with Swordmasters like the tabletop and the source material. 60 weapon strength, armor sundering, 45 melee attack. Pretty damn good. Swordmasters of Hoeth behind them. And they do have a unique ability in SFO called Hoeth Mastery. So they can pop that when their hit points are above 50% HP to give them a huge combat steroid boost. Star Dragon, the apex predator in Warhammer Fantasy. A prince riding atop it. That's gonna be so scary. So hard to bring down, but if anything can do it, a Shaggoth and Dragon Ogre certainly can. That is a goon squad that can deal with them. The Everqueen's Court Guards in the back, a gift from Milady herself, McQueen. And we've got Illyrian Reavers, no Dragon Princes, and some heavy arrowheads on the archers for that additional AP. A variant that has a bit more AP than the normal one, but less range. So those are the builds. We've got 994 troops for the Chaos and 1,100 for the High Elves. Let's play. Good luck, have fun, my friends. No, White Lions do not have anti-large in SFO. I think you might be thinking of Wildwood Rangers. Alright, over on the right flank, we've got Marauder Horsemen, Throwing Axes, Chaos Warhounds, front line of Chaos Marauders, Dragon Ogres, and Dragon Ogre Shaggoth right behind them. The Big Mama and her little babies running around ready to summon some Chain Lightning Vortexes. Alright, can he win an infantry fight? I'm going to go out on a limb and say no, it's going to be all about the support for Chaos. And he might want to not be so close to the white line here. Problem with that is that if they rout, they're gone for good. Shaggoth and the Dragon Ogres are going to need to get on target ASAP, and they're probably going to have to do some infantry killing as well, because if they don't, I'm not sure the Marauders are going to trade well into 2 Swordmasters and 4 White Lions of Krace. That's going to be very, very tough to deal with. But Gorbeast is getting aggressive. I like that play. Sartorial has a lot of magic resist, but a lot of AP shots going in, and looks like he's going to go for it with the gusto. Marauder Horsemen moving around the flank. I don't know if they're going to want to go all the way around, though. That shot blocker right there might be too much for them to deal with. And he's going heavy on the right side. Sartorial up the center, doing some good damage immediately. Going to want some get some heals down on the Marauders. Missed his charge, but Gorbeast should do really nice work here. Mirror Guard had that gold missile block chance, but Swordmasters are going to be there, and they are not going to trade well into that and a Star Dragon. But a nice overload on this flank. Curse of the Midnight Wind going down should make that an even more lopsided fight for the High Elves in terms of the infantry engagement, but swarming on top of the archers, and he's going straight into melee against Illyrian Reavers. It's not the worst idea. You might be able to swarm him here. The other throwing axes coming in behind. Gotta be careful with Sartorial, though. Gorbeast's Chariot got melted by the Star Dragon and by the Everqueen's Court Guards, but he is into the back line and tying down those archers. The problem is, he's not gonna win this fight. Shaggoth and the Dragon Ogre's Summoners of Rage on top of the Prince, doing some good damage. Some very good damage. Does he have any heals? He's got a Winds of Heavens caster, so no heals for the Star Dragon. Any damage that goes his way will continue. That's a final transmutation extended. Will slow him down over time. Nice laser breath attack. Strawberry Milkshake going the way of the Dragon Ogres. They are melting to those heavy arrowhead archers. And a nice charge coming in. Those monsters got destroyed by that Star Dragon. Sartorial needs to get in right now. Shaggoth needs to hit the right target. Dragon Ogres are routing, but they might be able to come back to the fight. Marauders routed, but they are coming back. Pretty even game so far. Gorbeasts are into the fight. They need to get rid of those Everqueen's Court Guards. Sigvald's Mirror Guard are going to get destroyed by all that AP right there. Doing some very good damage to Star Dragon, though. This is where the entire game will hinge. If the Blade of Belcor Hadris is not enough for that Prince to survive, he's going to go down. Balance bar is perfectly even, and Chaos is doing a very good job of swarming in the back lines here. And all his infantry came back to the fight, but Sartorial cannot lose him here, cannot lose the Shaggoth. Star Dragon will escape with slivers of HP. 3,300 left. Maybe some good AP shots coming in from the throwing axes might do some work. But right now they're not firing. Need to make sure these archers die too. Get all these units under control or you're going to be in trouble. Nice charge coming in. Gorbeast will rout again. Chain Lightning going to hit a lot of White Lions and generate a ton of value there. 54 kills for the Summoners of Rage so far. Sartorial doing a good job with the cycle charging. Not a lot of kills, but if he gets another Overcast Final Transmutation off, it could be enough to finish off the Prince, who is taking a lot of damage right now. Throwing Axe is doing a really good job of harrying him. Sit them on top. That dragon might go down pretty soon. I'd say Chaos is playing this very, very well. Marauders are swarming. They are going to finish off the arrowheads over on this side. Heavy archers going down. Sartorial still in good HP and getting a nice Unholy Pact with the Changer to heal up those Summoners of Rage as well. Chaos with heals. Not fun to fight against. I will say that. I know that from first-hand experience. Star Dragon coming in with a huge attack. And he only up to 4 kills right now, but most of his damage has been going the way of the Shaggoths and the Dragon Ogres. Uh-oh. You're in a bad spot. I think he's dead. At the very least, he's got a route from this, I think. I'm not sure that leadership is going to be able to hold on. Marauders, I don't know where you guys are going. You might want to get them into the fight. Very well played, Zach. Get him back into the fight there. Prince, 500 HP. And now he can't move for a split second. He's still alive. Leadership is holding. But Chaos with the Gorbeast Chariot coming in. Beautiful charge there. And I'd say right now they have a pretty clear advantage. Certainly not over, especially with the Summoners of Rage going down. Where's Sartorial at? Still alive with 4,400 HP. I don't think the Star Dragon can land it for the rest of the game. If he does, he will probably die. But all these throwing axes, they were a great choice for Chaos. They've done the majority of the damage to the Star Dragon here. White Lions holding on for now, 122 kills. Swordmaster's only 14. I'm not sure how that's possible. I thought they were in with the Marauders, but I guess not. Star Dragon, 465 on verge of routing. Chaos coming in with the big bird. Enjoy some Popeye's chicken, High Elves. Enjoyed that very much. Star Dragon might get a breath attack in. Oh my god! Jesus! The Chaos Gods are displeased with that one. Tzeentch is very upset. That breath attack just turned this back! Cheremis might bring this back! That was so beastly. Sartorial got caught out, was not moving. The entire breath attack hit him. 30 HP. Sartorial dead. He's out of the fight. Oh my god. That was insane. 195 HP. He might go down now, though. But the infantry from the High Elves might be too much for Chaos to deal with now. Sartorial got caught out. He has the speed to flank and dodge all those breath attacks, but he got caught out there, standing completely still with that huge hitbox deleted by that breath attack. My god. And that might just turn it in the High Elves' favor. That was disgusting. Because if Sartorial stays alive here, I think Chaos probably has this, but with the Star Dragon not dead, I don't see how they bring this one back. Oh, that was filthy. That was absolutely disgusting. Star Dragon showing Sartorial who's boss. Oh, I threw up in my mouth a little bit. Amazing. Alright. Chaos Warhound's gonna swarm those Everqueen Court Guard, but it's... Yeah, no, like, even if he kills the Star Dragon here, he still has leadership on the field, I think. I think he still has his mage. Where is she? Maybe... Oh, there she is, yeah. High Elves got this. Almost for sure. I do want to see the Star Dragon die. Yeah, Army Loss kicks in. Wow! Cheremis brought that back from the brink of defeat. Breath attack completely changed the complexion of that game. Holy balls. Sartorial was awesome that game. He got some really good final transmutations. Almost killed the prince there. Gorby's Chariot got a lot of AP damage going his way. I think that needed to do more for Chaos there if he wanted to be sure to win. Swordmaster's got 3 kills, but 2 chevrons somehow. I don't know if those were given by Charamis or from leftover money, or if that's what they earned that game. Maybe they were fighting like a Gore Beast or something and just got a bunch of chevs. But, yeah, I mean, that breath attack sealed the deal. That was crazy. That was absolutely insane. All right, game 1 goes to Charamis in this best of 5. Can Zach bounce back? That was a very close game. All right, second map. We are going to be going to Iron Sand Desert. And they're going to be picking their factions. So in the chat, ask me whatever you want to ask me. You have my full attention for the next couple of minutes as they pick their stuff. Yeah, Charamis exhibited tremendous patience there with the Star Dragon. Realized that if he went down into melee, he had a very good chance of losing him. But once he saw that breath attack hit flush and melt Sartorial's HP, realized he had an opportunity to fight him in a 1v1. And Sartorial is still a squishy nerd. He's still a mage caster at the end of the day. He cannot take a Star Dragon in a 1v1 fight. And even though the Prince only had 500 HP, he also has 650 weapon strength. 2 attacks was enough to seal the deal. And when Sartorial went down, that was game, set, match. High Elves take it. Am I hyped for the Netflix series, The Witcher? I am going to be honest, and this is extra heretical. I have never played a Witcher game in my life. I know a lot about it. I know a decent amount about it. I can't say a lot. But I have never played a Witcher game. I will probably do so before that series goes live. I would very much like it to be good. I think Henry Cavill is a good casting choice for sure. Definitely got the physicality for it, I'll say that. Dude is swole. Dude hits the weight room on a regular basis, and you obviously have to if you're going to be soups. But, yeah, I'm going to watch it for sure. I mean, I'm excited to see what they do with it. I don't know if it'll be good. But, I thought the trailer was solid. Now, one show that I was excited for that I watched the trailer and it was like, yikes, this is not looking that good. Watchmen. I did not like the Watchmen trailer at all. And maybe it was just the editing from that, but it was very hard to follow. And, I don't know. It did not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. So I'm hoping Watchmen will be good because I love Zack Snyder's Watchmen. I thought that movie was incredible. A lot of people didn't like it. I loved it. I loved it. But the show, from what I've seen in terms of the trailer, which albeit is not very much, I was like, what the hell is this? It looks kind of bad. But we'll see. Yeah. I'm not gay, but Henry Cavill, bruh. Yeah. It's kind of unfair. It's honestly kind of unfair that people can be that good looking. As a straight guy, like, that dude is sexy. There's no other way to put it. No other way to put it. Alright, what would you want versus Dark Elves? It looks like they might do Dark Elves Skaven. Would you stream The Witcher 3 if someone gifted it to you? No, probably not. I don't typically stream single-player games. And doing content for it wouldn't get me any views on YouTube anyway. I'd play it for fun, though, for sure. $1,400 people on stream. Thank you guys so much for spending your Sunday with me. I am having a blast, and we've got at least 2 more games to go. Again, remember, if you're enjoying the stream, please be sure to hit that like button. Really helps in terms of the search engine results page and gets my tournament out there for the masses. Expanding my channel makes me happy. Expand channel, expand dong. Am I right, boys? Alright, Skaven, Dark Elves. Looks like they're going to be rocking those on Iron Sand Desert. Now, Iron Sand Desert, very flat map. Obviously, a desert. They're usually pretty flat. And that means that Skaven... Well, actually, this is a good map for Skaven for a couple of reasons. For one, you've got cliffs to your back. So it's pretty hard to outflank you. 2, it's flat. There are a few dunes here or there that block line of sight, but for the most part, Skaven Jezzail weapon teams and rattling guns and blinding cannons are going to have free line of sight across the entire map. And the deployments are relatively close together, but not super close together, which means your artillery can unleash hell right from the start. And they're not right on top of you in terms of just being able to, like, get into your army immediately. Some deployments are, like, awkwardly close. Like, Essence of Chaos, for example, is like an awkwardly close deployment map where you're spawning right across from the other dude, and it takes about 2 seconds to run in before you close into melee. Please be a guest at Invitational. If you're talking about Ever-Chosen Invitational, I definitely want to cast one of those at some point. I have not gotten the call yet, but when or if I do, I shall answer. We'll see if that ever happens. I'd like to. I think it'd be fun. I've not actually done casting with Turin before. I've done, what do I usually do? We've done some like live comms together, but that's not really the same style. That's when we're playing, like Trials of Zinj stuff. But they would probably, if I got invited to Ever-Chosen Invitational, they'd probably pair me with someone else. Because Turin and I are kind of the same role in terms of commentary. Who do you hope we get for Legendary Lords in September? Well, we know that each of the base races, at the very least, are going to each get at least one more Lord. For Skaven, I think there's a very obvious choice there. Greyseer Thankwall, most iconic Ratman in history. There's no way they're going to skip him. There's just no way. I think he's very likely. In terms of the Dark Elves, there's only one iconic character left. Malice Darkblade. Has to be Malice. In terms of the High Elves, there are a lot more choices. You could go Emmerich of Calidor for a Dragon Lord. We don't have a single Legendary Lord in the game who can ride a Star Dragon. And he rides his own dragon, Minaithmir, into battle. It'd be very cool to see a unique one. Emmerich would be cool. Altharion the Grim, I personally think is pretty likely. Especially if cross-game Lord packs become a thing. And then for the Lizardmen, well, there are quite a few. There's Oxyonal, the Chameleon Skink, who hid out in the warp for generations. There's Gorok, the Great White Lizard, a beatstick who has no mount. Oh yeah, my bad. And there's Nakai the Wanderer, who I don't know if we'll ever see as a Legendary Lord, but is personally one of the ones that I want to see the most. Albino Kroxigor Lord would be incredibly cool. If not as a Lord, as a like Green Knight mechanic where you can summon him in a certain situation, when you're getting swarmed by Chaos or something. Seeing an Albino Kroxigor leading armies into battle would be very cool. What would I prefer, Warhammer 3 or Age of Sigmar? Pretty sure that's a joke question. I think you know the answer. Now, I'm 100%, and some of you guys are probably going to disagree with me, I'm 100% on board for an Age of Sigmar Total War game. When the trilogy is completely finished with all the lore choices and all the unit choices and all the factions in the game. When that's all said and done, I am 100% on board for Age of Sigmar. But only then. Until then, we got Demons of Chaos, Chaos Dwarfs, Kislev, Ogre Kingdoms, and maybe Cathay, or some other minor factions as part of Game 3. And it has to be cohesive, right? You can't make Age of Sigmar Warhammer 3. It doesn't work. It's a different setting. It would be like making Game of Thrones Season 8 as the final part of the trilogy for Star Wars. Like, it doesn't work. By the way, speaking of Season 8, anyone see Seth Rogen absolutely eviscerate poor D&D on the panel for Preacher? I'm trying to remember exactly what he said yesterday. He basically called out David Benioff and DB Weiss for not showing up to the Game of Thrones panel and it being a completely scripted event where no one got to ask the real questions or flame the Game of Thrones people at all. I didn't watch the panel. I wasn't going to watch the panel because I knew going into it is going to be heavily scripted and HBO is going to be in damage control mode, but Jesus Christ, what a shit show. That was awful. Yeah, poor D&D. Morally poor, morally bankrupt individuals. How dare they do that to my sweet, sweet Game of Thrones? At least I'm here. Who is your favorite campaign Legendary Lord to play? In SFO or vanilla? Let me see what they're saying. Still building, no problem. It does take a while to build armies in this game. I've tried to move past it, man. It's so tough to have 7 seasons of build up. And sure, there was some butchering of storylines in seasons 5 through 7, but overall the show is still good. But season 8, man, oh, brutal, just absolutely brutal. If you loved it, more power to you. I was not amongst those. I was super sad about what happened with Dorne in season 5. All right, enough Game of Thrones though. This is a Warhammer 2 stream. All right, we got Dark Elves and Skaven. Faith, Steel, and Grimhammer SFO tournament. Game 2 of the finals. Best of 5 series. Can Zach bring this back and even it up with a 1v1? We'll find out. Do I think a Game of Thrones Total War game could happen? That's a good way to segue into Total War, which is what we're all here for, right? Do I think a Game of Thrones Total War could happen? Yes, I think it could happen. Do I want it to happen? Not really. Honestly, it would look much like a medieval Total War with less variety. Like, if you think of Westeros, it's very homogeneous. Like, most of the houses would play pretty much the same, look very similar. I don't think they would actually be that great. And yes, you can add Essos, you can add Valyria, or Valyria's dead, but you know what I mean. Like, other factions from the world, Dothraki and blah, 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 but you're getting much worse variety than you just get from a Medieval 3. Just make a Medieval 3. You can go longer time period, more technological advancements, more factions. Medieval 3 is going to happen at some point. You got to know it. Alright, Dark Elves, Dark Riders, Doomfire Warlocks, and Slaanesha's Harvesters. So, they do have a unique contact effect in SFO. Lethal Poison, which does deal DPS over time, as well as a whole host of severe debuffs for enemies. So that's pretty good. We have the Chill of Sontar, bro. So chill right now. This thing is a monster, as you would expect. It's got Frostbite. It's got powerful breath attacks. It's mean, and it's frozen, and it's gonna eat you for dinner. Got Cold One Chariots, Sisters of Slaughter main line, and a lot of Harpies to swarm in the back. I like that idea, especially against Skaven. You need to make sure those weapon teams die and get tied up early, because if they don't, they're going to punish you hard. For Lord choice, Supreme Sorceress of the Lore of Fire. Lore of Fire, very good against Skaven, because Fireball will snipe out their Lord choices pretty easily. Because most of them are low armor, unless it's Ikit Claw. Let me see, what Lord choice did you go for? Gracier, Lore of Plague. Alright. So that has, how much armor? Dang, 100 armor. So Fireball won't do too much to that. But Flamestorm, Burning Head, really good for carving a path through the Skaven front line. And Dark Riders out on the flanks. A lot of mobility. A lot of Dark Riders. Wow. Holy crap. Doomfire Warlocks and Dark Riders all over the field. Can he micro all of that? That's a lot of squishy, very squishy units. We'll see if he can do it. Over on the other side, Cheramis. Setting up with a nice block of Skaven infantry and 3,500 troops on the field. My god. Doom Flayers, Black Hole Flayers. So this is just like the Legions of Legend for Tomb Kings. The Forbidden Workshop units were also added to SFO multiplayer as well. So what makes these guys unique? I don't even know. We'll find out together. They do have Warp Overcharge, which all units have. for the Skaven, all the weapon teams. They can all have their own version of Warp Overcharge, where they basically snort some rat cocaine and buff themselves up tremendously while causing damage to themselves. Very Skaven-esque, right? So, like for Jazales and Rattling Guns, you can increase their fire rate at the cost of some HP. For these guys, they can get crazy speed boost and crazy AP buff, but they'll deal damage to themselves and they'll lower their armor significantly. So it's kind of some interesting counterplay there that I like quite a bit. Plague Monks in the front ranks. Plague Monks are completely reworked from vanilla. They are unbreakable, and they have 0 armor and pathetic melee defense. So they tank and they tarp it well, and they do deal good damage, but they are squishy as balls. Over here, Hell Pit Abomination, 650 weapon strength. We've got a Grace here, Lore of Plague, and the Blight Scabs Plague Pack, who of course will be giving immune to Psych in an AoE. Pretty useful when you're up against the Chill of Sontar and terror-causing monstrosities. Rattling Gun weapon teams, Teeth Breakers in the back, and a nice little Skaven box. This could be dangerous, because it makes it easier to flank and swarm. But we'll see if it works out for them. Alright, those are the builds. Yeah, so let's take a look at the Warp Overcharge for some of these other units. Here, we've got the Rattling Gun weapon teams. They get 100 reload skill, so they fire even faster, which is crazy. I mean, they're Gatling guns. Like, how do you fire faster than a Gatling gun? And then you lower their accuracy by 25%. Over here, the Teeth Breaker Rattling Guns have a lot of unique spells. Smoke Bomb means that if you get on top of them, they can pop that and run the hell away. Pretty good. Just massively debuff the speed of anything trying to chase them. And they get the same reload skill buff as well. I don't know about this layout for the Skaven. And I'll talk about it once it happens, if what I think might happen actually does. But, it could be dangerous for him, for sure. It's an interesting setup. We'll see if it works out. So much mobility on the field for the Dark Elves. But if those Sisters of Slaughter get murdered on the way in, Dark Elves are going to be in for a bad time. Because they don't have a lot of line-breaking units. They don't have a lot of units that are great in a melee grind once those Sisters die. I like the idea. Might be a few too many Dark Riders and Harpies. Not sure you need that much mobility, but we'll see. I could be wrong. That's the thing about SFO in general. There is no multiplayer meta. There's not a big enough community and not enough tournaments and not enough players playing it to really know what's super good and what's not. So we're kind of figuring that all out together. I like this idea though. Bring that right here, then right down the line. And that could be very, very juicy. Very tasty. Looks like the Celestians Harvesters and the Doomfire Warlocks are moving up, as well as the Dark Riders. Sisters of Slaughter ready to go in. These Plague Monk Sensor Bears are gonna be tough nut to crack for sure. I like how he's sitting right outside the range of those Rattling Guns. Gotta be so careful with the Chill of Sontar though. 2 Rattling Guns could melt it in only a couple of seconds. And we do have that Manticore Supreme Sorceress up top. Terror causing. Here come the Rattling Guns. What kind of damage can they do? Ooh, pulling back. Alright, didn't do too much damage. They are on the outskirts of the line of fire there. And, oh, they popped the Warp Overcharge. If he keeps pulling back here, he could just make them waste that stuff. He's still in range, though. And he's overloading the left flank. Chill of Sontar on the flank there. Breath Attack down to the side. Could do so much damage. Oh, they are getting just demolished, though. They're getting suppressed hardcore. He doesn't have any meat shields here. He needs the Harpies to get in right now. Oh, man, they're getting melted. They're getting absolutely melted. All right, Sisters are in. They're going to run through Skaven Slaves easy, but Doom Flares with that charge. A lot of damage. Breath Attack going down. Oh, oh, mama. Oh, Lord, there goes that man. 250 kills from the Chill of Sontar. Oh, it feels good, man. It feels so good, man. Oh my god, these Sisters, though, are already melting. Harpies coming in from the rear. Oh my god, that was so brutal. Harpies on top of the Teeth Breakers. Warp Lightning raining down, destroying those Dark Riders. Another, here we go. This is what I was talking about. Burning Head. Skaven are very blobbed up. They are going to get melted a bit by that, but it only is going to hit 1 or 2 units. Oh, even my frames are dipping hard. Look at that, man. Already lost 1,200 men. Dark Riders and the Dark Elves swarming on the Skaven right flank super well. Oh, Burning Head swung. Look at the path it carved. It went this way and went down the Skaven line. They're just routing all over. I can't even keep track of everything going on right now. Oh my god. Warp Lightning raining down, getting rid of some of the Dark Riders. And a Doom Bolt coming in. Did no damage to that Warplock Engineer whatsoever. Chill of Sontar is in good shape. My god, there are just so many troops on the field. So many abilities going off. It's crazy. Chill of Sontar is full HP though. That's pretty important. Get him on top of those Blight Scab's Plague Pack and get some rear charges in. Could be in for a good time. Dark Riders and Sinesh's Harvesters doing a great job of clearing up the back line here, but he needs to worry about that Greyseer Plague on the, the hell is that called? Screaming Belt. Sorry. Over here, Hellpit Abomination is murdering these poor Doomfire Warlocks and Dark Riders. Perfect engagement from Cheramis. I think Zach needs to get the hell out of that engagement or he's going to lose a lot of stuff. The Chill of Sontar, though, and the Supreme Sorceress on top of the Plague Pack and the Greyseer. If he can snipe that out, he's going to be in really good shape. And a nice, looks like a Soul Blight going down, debuffing a lot of that. I'm not sure why that Chill of Sontar's leadership is so bad right now. It's got full HP. It's not taking that much damage. It's not really surrounded. Yeah, it should definitely even out. Supreme Sorceress, you need to get out of there, though. You need to get out of there, and the Sisters of Slaughter and Dark Riders need to get under control. He sat those Doomfire Warlocks on top of that Hell Pit for way too long, and now when that comes in, it's going to make this duel so much harder. I'm not sure he has the tools to bring down that Hell Pit Abomination. This is going to be pretty hard for the Dark Elves here, I think. Another Burning Head, though. Not doing a massive amount of damage. Chill of Sontar's leadership is so wonky right now, and he's going to rout. And with that, I think the Dark Elves are on the back foot here. Definitely not over, but going to be pretty tough. I liked the Burning Head idea, and I like the Chill of Sontar idea. You got 250 kills on that first breath attack, but the Hell Pit Abomination has been a nightmare for him to deal with this game, and the Sisters of Slaughter had no meat shields, and the Harpy attack wasn't timed incredibly well, which is unfortunate, because if it was, your Sisters of Slaughter don't get shot up on the way in. And he needed those at full HP, make it into contact in terms of melee. So, he is not out of this fight yet. He does have a surround off. Dark Riders are coming in, but the Doomfire Warlocks are going to be a problem. Fireball coming in, and not really going to hit anything. Now, if you had like a Malekith and like a Soul Stealer right now, and Seraphon and a Black Dragon to swarm in and breath attack this, I'd say he's being in pretty good shape. But with just a regular Supreme Sorceress, melee stats just aren't good. He's going to mass rout in seconds here. He's going to melt. This is going to be the end of the Dark Elves, I think. Nice Orb of Lightning, too. And I think Cheramis is going to take game number 2. Unless some miracle happens. If he has a Burning Head or a Flamestorm, now's the time to use it. There we go. Oh my god, that got 100 kills. But it's still not enough. It's mostly on chaff. Get a breath attack in. Come on, Chill of Sontar. Yeah. Woohoo! 366 kills. But it's still not enough. Dark Elves are gonna crumble here in the face of just a Vermintide. A veritable Vermintide. There's no way to stop them. And they're going to take over. Mass rout, army losses kicks in. Cheramis 1 game away from taking this tournament. Can Zach bring it back? That is the question. Cheramis is looking unstoppable right now, though. Yeah, Flamestorm would have been super useful in that fight. That blob there would have literally gotten completely melted by a Flamestorm. So, in terms of army compositions, I do think that Zach went a little bit too heavy on the light cav. I mean, look at how much stuff is reliant on psychocharging and mobility. 4 Harpies, 4 light cav. No, more than that. Jesus. He had 7 light cav. He needed a tankier front line. He needed to make sure that he could actually get in and win the infantry fight. And so the sisters, without having any meat shields up front whatsoever, 2 of them got melted before they even made it into melee. They literally charged in, were half HP by the time they made contact in close quarters, and by that point, they're going to mass rout as soon as the hell pit or something else touches down on them. So, yeah, I think he needed more infantry there, and a few less Dark Riders, maybe 1 less Doomfire Warlocks, 2 less Harpies, and just go for a few more infantry units that can actually trade well into the front line there. Even 1 or 2 Cold One Knights there would have been useful to at least shadow those Doom Flayers. Because he had 3 of them, including the Black Hole Flayers. They had free reign. There was not a lot on the field that could actually stop them. So I think that battle came down to army composition for sure. He got some amazing kills. 444 from the Burning Heads. 366 from 2 breath attacks on the Chill of Solitar. But again, on Skaven Slaves, not the most impactful thing. Need to make sure that their elites and their veteran stuff ends up dying. And if you don't have stuff to shut down those Doom Flayers, they will run shop all over your army. And that's what we saw there. GG to both players. Cheramis played very well. Zach had an interesting build there, but especially on that map, I think that was going to be tough. Because the cliff behind the Skaven army just kind of blocks deployment, right? Kind of blocks your flanking a bit. Makes it harder to get in from behind. Oh, that breath attack though, that was juicy. That was juicy indeed. Yeah, I mean 246 kills on Dark Rider, sure. But again, a lot of that is Skaven Slaves. Like, that's not too crazy. You had 3,500 troops on the field. All those kill counts are going to be inflated. Yeah, I'm not... Zach thinks the tournament's over. Come on, bro. Alright, next map. What is the next map? We are going into Devastation of Ostermark. I like that one quite a bit. Very asymmetrical map. Please give Vermin Lord. Hell yeah. Think we'll ever see one? I don't know. I honestly don't know what their perspective is in terms of end time stuff. To be fair, Vermin Lords are not end time exclusive. They are very much a... Well, I mean, they were introduced in 7th edition, I think. Maybe even 6th. So they've been around for a long time. I will say the end times variant of them is by far the coolest looking. I can see why some people don't like them, because they don't really fit the Verminous aesthetic in terms of, like, high leadership, greater demon, very tanky, very survivable. It kind of goes against the whole swarm number thing, and I guess I get that. But I don't expect to see Vermin Lords, like, in a Game 2 DLC, really. If we see them, it'd be, like, well after Game 3's been out for a long time, and they're going back and giving a few new units to each faction. That would be a good time to unveil them once we're all bored of all the tools that are already in the game. Malobad as a vampire legendary lord in Bretonnia. No. I think the ship has sailed on Mousillon. I don't think we're going to see them. At this point, I'm not sure how much I would really care, to be honest. There are two undead characters that need to be in the game at this point. It's Nagash and Neferata. Besides that, I mean, look, I want as many named characters as possible, but let's get Empire their rework. Let's get Greenskins their rework. Let's get a few more characters for each of the ones that only... Another Wood Elf character. They only have 2 legendary lords right now. Let's tackle those before we worry about Malobad or the Red Duke or Mousillon. Nagash isn't any different than Mazdamundi or Lord Croak or Archaon or Teclis. One of the defining pieces of lore for Teclis, literally, like the first line of his army book says, Teclis, he's approaching the power of Nagash. Like, literally, there are a bunch of characters in Warhammer that are not Well, okay. Mazdamundi, for example, moves mountain ranges with his mind. Lord of Croak stopped a meteor. He literally stopped Morslib raining down on the earth with mind bullets. You can't tell me Nagash is more powerful than Lord Croak. Because he's not. Lord Croak killed 100,000 demons in an instant at Itza. Delivered them with the pizza. Like, come on. Nagash isn't more powerful than that. You can balance him the exact same way you balance Croak or Mazdamundi. Exact same way. So, is Nagash going to be crazy powerful? Yeah. Is he going to be anywhere near how powerful he is in the lore? Hell no. But nobody is. Even Lord Croak is shooting, like, pea shooters compared to what he can do in the lore. Archaon he's the Ever-Chosen. He's the Herald of the Apocalypse. He's in the game. Of course Nagash can be in the game. Alright, Dark Elves Norska. Here we go. This could be it. This could be the tournament right here, folks. It'd be a very, very quick one. I'd be a little bit sad if every single game we played today was a 2-0 or a 3-0. But it does happen. These things happen. We could maybe do like a... Yeah, I might hit them up and see if we want to do like a like exhibition match or something if this goes for 3-0. I don't know. We'll figure it out. One's voice can only hold out for so long anyway. Even with 2-0s and 3-0s everywhere, it's been, what? It will be 8 games casted, so. It's been fun so far. I've certainly enjoyed it. But we ain't done yet. Are we gonna gloss over the 2 Lords of Change already in the game? Like in what from what standpoint? I don't know what you're asking. Did Luther Harkin get a Mortarch mount? Luther Harkin wasn't playable in tabletop, so in the lore, yeah, I think he got a Dread Abyssal. I'm pretty sure. I think they all did. Literally hate playing Norska as Dark Elves. It's not the easiest matchup. Norska is perfectly capable of winning it. Dark Elves have always been strong, of course, but there are, well, for Norska, for example, they are very focused on just a tanky front line, right? Like, Marauder Champion front line is going to trade well into most Dark Elf infantry. They'll lose to Executioners, obviously, but besides that, they're going to trade pretty well. You get the Warhounds, and you get the Ice Wolves on the flanks to harry the Dark Riders, get in behind, and shut down those Dark Shards, and you can cause havoc all over the field. Of course, you have really good Skirmish Cav with the Marauder Horsemasters as well. And they have bonus versus large in SFO. So if they're focus firing on any kind of monster or Cav, they're going to be pretty sad. Oh yeah, Lords of Change already being in the game. Yeah, I got you. Mammoths are a risky proposition in a mod like this one. Focus fire from Dark Shards can be brutal. And Beast of Bray, send us nudes, Indy. Any predictions on future Norska Legendary Lords? Bjorg Bearstruck, late game 3 release. Thank you very much for the support, my friend. Very much appreciated. $20. Thank you. In terms of another Norscan Legendary Lord, I personally think Bjorg Bearstruck would be a really cool choice. He's very obscure. Not well known at all. But that's okay. I think he'd be very cool. I think that Mortkin would be awesome. I think that the leader of the Scaling Tribe, the High Jarl, no, please don't. I'm not gonna blank on his name, am I? The Corn Dude. Oh, Jesus. I just played a campaign with him. Someone will tell me in the chat. I just completely blanked. It's the High Jarl of the Scaling Tribe. Whatever his name is. I could see him as one. But I don't know if we're going to see too many, like, Chaos-specific lords for Norska. Egil Shearbjorn, thank you. Completely blanked on that name. Yeah, Egil would be a cool choice. But yeah, I think that it makes more sense to do what they did with Throg and Wolfric, right? What they've already done with them was go for undivided lords, essentially. Ones that would not fit in well in Warhammer 3. I think that Norska will get another lord at some point, yeah. I do. I think every faction in the game will get another lord at some point. I do not think that Wood Elves are going to be stuck on 2. I do not think Norska is going to be stuck on 2. I think CA is committed pretty heavily to overhauling every race, and it takes them forever. But it will happen at some point. I think Mortkin is probably the best choice. Yeah, dude, a cross-game lord pack with, like, Norska and Malice or something. Go Mortkin and Malice Darkblade. That'd be so sick. I'd really... Honestly, the race right now that I want updated the most is Beastmen, though. I don't care so much about them getting another lord choice. I'd like them to, obviously. More content, always great. But give them a Doom Bull, give them a Gorgon, and give them... Just overhaul their campaign. Like, their campaign needs an overhaul so bad. I went back and tried to play it relatively recently, and it's brutal, man. It's just not that fun. You're just sitting in a corner jerking yourself off all day, like waiting for replenishment until the Dark Moon events come around. Oh, you've been discovered? Someone walked by randomly? Oh yeah, you don't get replenishment for that turn. Sweet. Very fun campaign. End turn simulator. It's awful. It's really bad. They really need an overhaul badly. See, like, look, I'm down for Jabberslythe all day, right? But from an aesthetics perspective, Gorgon, not just from an aesthetics perspective, from a mechanics perspective too, Gorgon fits them so much better. Like, they need, one, a Gorgon looks like a Minotaur, like just a gigantic one, but a Frenzy, replenishing, fast monster that can get into a back line and cause terror is so much more unique and interesting to me than like a flying terror-causing monster, which we already have a million of. And a Jabberslythe does not look like it belongs with the Beastmen roster. I'm cool with it. I want it. If we get it, I'd be a happy guy. But compared to Gorgon, Gorgon is like way above on my list. And Doom Bull too. And Doom Bull would be easy. Just blow up the model on the Gorbull we already have. Throw him some new assets. Make him like all black, red eyes. Good to go. Heavily armored Minotaur Lord choice for the Beastmen. They need it. Alright. Looks like Zac Bane is about to be finished up. Yeah, and some kind of like Hearthstone mechanic that lets them actually settle for a bit and like create bastions of power on the map in heavily forested areas would be very nice. I don't know, I talked about how to overhaul the Beastmen, what they need in terms of fixing their campaign. I do think Hearthstones would be a very important part of that mechanic. But just anything to make it so it's not an end turn simulator where all you're doing is fighting a battle, end turn for 5 turns, and then do it again. Like, it just gets so boring so fast. Yeah, and then there's that point. You're very much correct. After, not only are you hitting end turn all the time, but then you kill a settlement, and then some idiot Empire settlers resettle it in a turn. And they just gobble up. Like little munchkins, like gnawing at your ankles. They're just like, I'm gonna die really soon anyway, but I'm gonna resettle this part of the map while you're gone. Oh, you spent 50 turns raising the Empire? Oh, guess what? They're all resettled again. Because you missed like one 4-man stack. Okay. Great. Really fun. One day, Zac Sane will be ready. That will be a glorious day indeed. An auspicious day for the Faith Steel and Grimhammer tournament. Alright. We're underway, my friends. Could this be it? Could this be the tournament? Could Charamis be a rich boy millions of dollars coming his way if he manages to win this tourney for the second time. Now that would be impressive though. There have been 2 SFO tournaments. To win both them would be pretty cute. Yeah, dude, it happens with everybody. It happens with Chaos, it happens with Beastmen, it happens with Norska. And it's one of the reasons Horde gameplay needs a tremendous rework. Alrighty. What are we looking at, boys? This is Devastation of Ostermark. So this is one of my favorite maps in the game. And there are a couple reasons for that. One, the aesthetics are just super cool. It's literally just a town on the edge of Ostermark getting raised by Sylvanian zombos and scary monsters. And maybe some beastmen too. But this came with Vlad, so I think this is a Sylvanian attack. Especially considering how close Ostermark is to Sylvania. But more than that, it's not one of those just like straight up flat maps. You've got a perfect avenue of attack and flanking and vanguard deploying up top. You have a lot of choices on where to deploy on the map, and there are 3 levels to it. It reminds me actually of Shogun 2's maps, which I think are some of the best in the entirety of the Total War series, where there are actual defining geographical characteristics that change how you play the map. Rolling hills and flat plains has been a staple of this game for a very long time, but maps like this one, where you've got choke points, you've got 3 separate levels, you can do something like have Way Watchers deploy up here and fire down on units from below. That's not something you could do on a lot of other maps, so I like that a lot. And we might not see them even line up across from each other, because there are those 3 levels. So we'll see how that goes. In terms of army compositions, we've got the Beasts of Tashnar with their bonus for Slarge, Ice Wolves with their Frostbite attacks and their slow, Maws of Savagery, bonus for infantry in SFO, not bonus for Slarge, so they are a little bit different, and their replenishment works differently as well. They have something called Wolf and Vigor. This gives them acceleration, speed, melee attack, and more missile resist the longer they are in melee. So kind of like a Berserker unit, and they replenish the entire time. But they don't replenish when out of combat. So they have to be in melee to get that regen. I'm not going to say what that unit is, but I love them. Don't want to spoil it. That's awesome. Oh man, I'm so glad they made it in. So cool. Straight out of Barney. But they'll pound your face into pulp. So good. They're also bonus versus infantry, so that is different from vanilla. And then over here, Marauders and Big Daddy Wolfric on his War Mammoth. Mr. Frodo, look. It's an Oliphant. No one at home will believe this. Look at that thing. I hope that thing does so much damage this game. Over here, for Cheramis and the Dark Elves of Nagaroth. Cold One Knights. Ooh. I don't know if I want to spoil that either. I don't know if they're stream sniping or not. I guess I'll just say it for both, and then we'll know. Shades with dual weapons on this side. They have a bleed contact effect and AP, and those were the armor sundering Fimir Miststalkers on the other side. Alright, we got Black Arc Corsair Handbows. If you guys are stream sniping, shame on you. You better not be listening, you douches. We got a Sorceress Lore of Fire, Flaming Sword of Ruin, Cascading Fire Cloak, and Burning Head. More Clever Girl Cavalry in the background. They'll be patrolling the back lines. A lot of Black Arc Corsair Handbows. That could be pretty hard to deal with, but it's not the easiest map to skirmish on. These cliffs will block your ability to do that to an extent. And Ice Wolves do have Vanguard deployment in SFO as well. A Dreadlord with sword and crossbow up top on a Black Dragon. Seraphon, he is not, but still a beast. 834 missile damage on that crossbow too. In practice doesn't end up being anywhere near that much damage, but looks fancy on paper. And some Dread Spears in the back line. A lot of range DPS. The monsters and the single entities for Norska gonna have to be very cautious because these bad boys They can put you in the dirt real quick. What's a Wazdik? It's a Dawi slur for being a douche wiener. If you don't know what a douche wiener is, you might just be one. Alright, so the cool thing about Shades, too, bonus versus infantry, and they can go toe-to-toe in melee pretty well, too. So once they use all their ammunition, they're still pretty impactful, too. I like these deployments. This could get so crazy so fast. It's gonna be a fast one. Zach, we want you to win this for the stream. For the sake of the stream, we want you to bring this back to 2-2. Bring this baby back. Let's go. I'm ready. Let's do it. No, tanks, no, don't you dare. It's no laughing matter, my friend. No laughing matter indeed. You are my homie G. You have so much to live for. Alright. Cold One Knights on the right flank. Blackguard Corsair Handbows. Shades. And oh, I totally forgot to talk about this unit. Raven Heralds. So this is a Flying Dark Rider unit that has crossbows. AP crossbows. That is a very threatening unit to the Norskin line here, because they did not go for any jabs. Some Marauder Horsemasters or Horsemen, any jab unit could zone them out pretty well. He doesn't have them. If they sit on top of that Mammoth, could be in for a world of hurt, especially alongside that Dreadlord sword and crossbow. Cheramis is not playing around. I expect to see some gen sniping this game, and a huge breath attack. You're so blobbed up. Oh, Long Johnson. Oh, Don Piano. That is not how you want to start the game. Not at all. Oh, live long Deo. That's 40 models and 25 models dead right on the start on your elite infantry. Fimir Balefiend, Lord of Shadows. He has Pit of Shades, Pendulum, and Melkos Mystifying Miasma. So the issue I see right now is that he does not have a lot to counter the flyers that are overhead. He has the jabs, but they can kind of skirt around and dodge those relatively easily. If you had Marauder Horsemen here, you'd probably be in better shape for zoning him out. He can still do so, but they might be able to sit on top of the caster and the Mammoth and just deal damage the whole time. And this could get brutal if those jabs can't get in range. Yeah, if you're the Dark Elves, that's a pretty good start. This is the carnage you like to see. Kane is very pleased with that one, for sure. Now, can he bring the Dark Elves to bear and actually force them into a melee grind? The Ice Wolves and the Skin Wolves are going to be the main factor here. They're going to have to be used very well. He can do so. Their Frostbite will let his Norskin Marauder champions catch up and get into the Blackguard Corsairs, but he's got to time it well and not let them die to the Cold One Knights when they come into rear charge. So what you're going to see... What's that? It's a pretty nice Pendulum. Definitely not bad. What you're going to see, though, is Cheramis is going to spread the field here and try to pick them apart with the Shades and with the Blackguard Corsairs Handbows. And he can do so. It's going to be down to these Ice Wolves. I think they're the X factor here. And frankly, I would not have minded seeing these guys Vanguard deployed behind the enemy lines. That would have been pretty useful as well. Alright, some pushing on this flank. Nicely done. Beasts of Tashnar and Skin Wolves with their bonus versus infantry making it into combat. Cold One Knights have not moved. If they come in, they could win. But that's exactly how you want to play this. Zach is doing a very good job right now. You want to make sure you swarm them, force them into an awkward engagement, then force the Cold Ones to come in, then you can jab them to pieces. So, doing a very good job right now. This is going to be a hard army to micro, man. If you're the Dark Elves, not easy at all. Gotta be careful with those Beasts of Tashnar, though. Or maybe not. They didn't get their charge bonus off. There we go. He gets Swarm It. If he kills those Cold One Knights, could get into the rear of the enemy army. Burning Head going down, melting those Marauders. And that Mammoth, be careful. That's 3 Shades shooting into him. You gotta be super careful with your Lord. Tanky right now. They do have a 25% missile resist, but there's only so far that will go. Oh god, you gotta be careful with your Mammoth, my dude. Marauder's pushing through, and he does have Ice Wolves into the back. He already routed one of the Blackguard Corsair Handbows. None of the Shades are shut down. Mammoth is dying so quick. Yeah, you want to keep him further back for sure. And he is going to try to escape, but then the Dreadlord can come in. That's so much AP missile fire going his way. Pit of Shades. Pit of Shades, I think. Here we go. Yeah, that's going to melt that entire flank. But is it worth it if you lose your Mammoth? Good jab shots coming into the Black Dragon. And another Burning Head going... Oh, Pendulum, rather. Going down. Carving a path through the Shades. Norskins are winning at the moment, but Mammoth about to die. And he is going to break through on this flank really well. Nice. Okay, so... If he comes in from behind, could be game, set, match for those Shades. Doing a very good job pushing through on the left flank here. Focus fire on the Mammoth, but still alive for now, and a nice flanking charge. I have nightmares about Hourcrest doing that to me in the Ever-Chosen. Flanking charge just melted my halberds. He'll do the same thing here. Blackguard Corsairs about to rout. Bounce bar a little bit favor of Norska. And the Dreadlord up top, about half HP. Another Burning Head going through. Doing a lot of damage. What's the mage up to in terms of kills? 83. But done a lot of HP damage too. Yeah, those Marauder champions are beastly. They cut through relatively easily, and they're into the back line now. Shades about to get swarmed, and the Mammoth is still alive. Cheramis was so close to finishing it off. Wasn't able to do so, and now most of the Shades are tied down. The Jazz are still online, and the infantry coming in from behind, trying to get around and flank. And I'd say this is pretty heavily in Norska's favor for now. But game is far from over. Oh, here we go. A nice crossbow shot coming in. And that's going to bring down the Mammoth. Wulfric tumbles from his perch. And the Oliphant is out of the picture. But he does have a leadership bastion in that Fimir Balefiend. Relatively tanky. And the Marauders are getting in behind too. Ice Wolves have been used so well this game by Zaxbane. Doing a really good job with them. And the infantry for the Dark Elves on their last legs, but there's still a Black Dragon to contend with. Can they bring down the monster? That is the question. Gonna take flight for now, maybe try and snipe out the Fimir Balefiend. Shades are retreating to safety, but Marauders are hot on their heels. And Harpies doing a good job of tying down some very important units back here. These Javelins really want to be firing into that Black Dragon over here. But not going to be able to do so right now. Monster Savagery do have bonus versus infantry. They're into melee. Ooh, Werewolves of Nagorod. And they're going to munch up on top of these Shades. They're going to carve through them. A lot of them are routing. And those Miststalkers, up to 40 kills, also about to get in. Taking them down. Going to be incredibly hard for the Dark Elves at this point. Sorceress of the Lord of Fire, about to get inundated by a lot of armor-piercing units. Just routed. Cold One Knights about to go down. And I think Zach is going to be able to take this game. Very decisive engagement over on that left flank. And was able to roll that entire side of the battlefield. Came in from behind, tied up the Shades. And looks like he might just take it. Yeah, Fimir Balefiend up to 109 kills. That Pit of Shades did some serious work. Black Dragon being smart about it, not committing to a fight, wants to use all his breath attacks and skirmish power. But another flanking attack coming in here. Very nice charge from the Ice Wolves. Will make sure those Shades do not fire again. And I think army losses is going to kick in very soon. That's an enfeebling foe. He will be able to tear out, but if any of those Ice Wolves make contact, he won't be able to take off. And he is frostbitten right now. That might be the game right here. Your death is coming, Black Dragon. Oh, he is gonna... Maybe. Yeah, he's gonna get out of there. I don't think it matters, though. I don't see a way back for the Dark Elves at this point. Nice Javelin volleys coming in. Making pincushions out of the backs of these Dark Elves. And some angry Northmen Vikings will storm the field. Forest spirits, drag me to madness. Cascading Fire Cloak is good. Look at those stats though. 80 melee defense, 760 weapon strength. It all matters not. Fimir putting him in the dirt. Zach is going to start bringing this one back. 2-1 in favor of Cheramis. Going to a game 4. So, the one thing I'd say about that Mammoth play is, and I don't know if he saw the shades or not. Maybe he didn't. And obviously there's a lot going on, especially in these large army battles, these 40-unit cap battles. It's hard to micro. But as soon as you see all that armor-piercing missile fire coming your way, get the Mammoth the hell out of there, man. Wait to engage at a different part of the battlefield where they can't shoot. Because if you saw how fast that HP bar melted. If he keeps that Mammoth a little bit safer, doesn't just commit it straight to the fight right away, that battle's an easy win. Still won it, still convincingly, played very well, but gotta be careful with those large single entities because 3 shades will put any large monster into the ground in seconds, and you saw it there. Chairman's did a very good job focus firing the Mammoth, and thought he used the Black Dragon and the Dreadlord very well. Black Ark Corsairs, though, they had some issues dealing with those Ice Wolves. Right up the center, Zach took a very, very good engagement with those Ice Wolves to frostbite them. That made sure the Marauder champions and the Marauders could make it into melee. From there, just swarmed them and spreading the field, especially on that map, on Devastation of Ostermark. Pretty hard. Requires a lot of micro, and it was well played from Zach to swarm him and completely get into the back line to make sure those skirmishers couldn't do all the damage they wanted to. So we're going to a game 4. And they are going to pick their faction. I am going to play some music and take a quick bio break, and I will be right back. Alright, we're back in action. I believe they're still working out their factions. And it looks like it might be Greenskins. Would you do a tournament with a SFO GCCM custom maps only? Probably not. For a multitude of reasons, but the biggest thing is that it's very hard to... Well, a lot of the GCCM maps are not designed for competitive multiplayer at all. There are some very cool ones, no question about it. But it would be pretty challenging, I think, to find a bunch of ones from GCCM that are well balanced. And it just adds another confounding variable that kind of makes it hard to organize. Like, the more mods you add, the harder it gets. Now, I will say, and I think I've mentioned this before, CA's mod manager right now is in ruins and needs some serious revamping. we actually have to use Kadrin's mod manager for this tournament because CA's straight up does not work for multiplayer compatibility at all. You can have one mod each, and you're using the exact same mod or the exact same mod list. And if you use CA's mod manager to boot up, you will not be compatible with the person you're playing with, which is obviously hugely detrimental because what's the point of playing modded multiplayer then? So we actually have to use Kadrin's mod manager to make it work right now. So I believe CA is aware of the problem. I would like them to fix it ASAP because it's a very frustrating one. We have to use a third-party mod manager to make the game effing work, man. That's no fun. So I hope that gets fixed ASAP. Alright, he's asking for no undead. We need to change the map here. We are going into game 4, which means we are on Pillar of Bone, a classic. Thank you all for the donations so far. Really appreciate the support and coming out and enjoying your Sunday afternoon with your boy. And we will definitely be doing more tournaments like this one. I'm having a blast. Hope you guys are as well. No, they're agreeing on matchups right now. So instead of like a pick ban system, typically for these kind of tournaments, I just like it when they can just agree on stuff that will be fun to watch, fun to play. As long as they can agree, it's all Gucci. Looks like we might be getting Greenskins Chaos. And you would be surprised. So, yes, if we were doing like a leaderboard tournament where you just have random people from the top leaderboards fighting it out, it would probably not be that good in terms of like agreeing on factions. But because we're handpicking the players, we're picking them because they're nice guys and because they are good. They're competitive, but they know how to give things up and give in return. So they know how to do it. Like, they're good to go. They know how to pick stuff together. They'll be all right. Gunter the Kaiser, talking about donations. Here's one. Thank you, my friend. $5 donation. And Venris is in the chat. Give it up to the man, the myth, the legend, Venris himself. Created one of the most popular mods on the Steam Workshop. With Steel Faith himself, of course. But it's been the Venris show for what, like a year now? Year and a half? Alright, yeah, we're gonna get Greenskins Chaos. That's a fun matchup, man. Hopefully get to see some Black Orcs. We've not seen that yet. Maybe see the Immortals? Grimgor's got his famous Ironhard bodyguard rocking alongside him. What's up, Dauntless Onslaught? How's it going, man? Black is the new green.
Fortune favors the infamous.
DKK, $60. Or 60 something. It's not dollars. Thought I would give some for the tournament's sake. I love that there are people like you making this community special, so cheers. Thank you, Nicholas. Really appreciate it, man. Oh, baby. We gonna get some crazy Warhammer action in here soon. I'm hype. I want, like, look, I don't like taking sides, but when one person's been dominant and I want a best of 5 series, I'm all for Zax in this game. I want the Greenskins to take it. And then in game 5, it'll be even, and whoever wins, wins it. I won't be rooting for anybody at that point. But a best of 5 series is best when it goes to game 5. No pressure, Charamis. Don't blow a 2-0 lead. I wish I could change the music from here. Like, change the theme. I like the Nehakarn theme. Walk like a Nehakarn. It's a good one. But getting the normal High Elf epic swelling orchestral music would be nice as well. They should be ready to go soon. And then we'll get underway. Boom, boom. Who watched Legends Cheese for the Cheese God tournament yesterday? Was it good? I wasn't able to catch it. I was out for most of the day. After I finished that glorious Warthog Run video. I know there are a lot of people watching. There are almost like 2,000 people on his stream. I think there's something to be said for that kind of setup where you just kind of say, screw it, balls to the wall, Warhammer over the top action, no rules. There's elements of that that's pretty dope.
Fortune favors.
But then you get like corner camping and stuff, and that's not always the best thing to watch. Urban Chaos 99, finally true Greenskins match. Have you played Greenskins in SFO campaign? I have not. But they did get a massive overhaul with the Green and the Grudge update, which, by the way, I helped name. I will take some credit for that, maybe all the credit for the name itself. The Green and the Grudge update. They got a massive overhaul in that. So they are, right now, in terms of a campaign playthrough, I think, much more exciting to play in SFO than they are in vanilla. I don't love every faction's campaign in SFO. There are some that I don't particularly love. But I think Greenskins are definitely one that are a lot of fun. Thank you for the support, my friend. Really appreciate it. Armies weren't as cheesy as they could have been. Balanced armies tended to do better. Yeah, that makes sense. The only game I saw was Ark in the Black with vampire counts against Skaven. And I don't know what he was doing with his black dragon, or his zombie dragon. It got murdered. It got absolutely trash canned by a bunch of rattling guns and some warp lightnings. And it died like right at the start of the game when he was trying to flank around. It just died immediately. But then, like, the guy was in a corner, and Ark in the Black just swarmed him with Vargeist and Vargals, and just Skaven just terrorized it off the map. I don't think you want a corner camp with a Skaven, because you're just going to mass rout usually. And the Skaven rely on having their meat shields come back to the fight. If you can't, you're going to be in big trouble. I am going to butcher your name. I apologize. Ali Bye Bye Juka, $20 donation. I have no idea for how long you've been doing Warhammer stuff. Found out your channel recently, but hell of a job. Keep it going. Thank you so much, man. Thank you for the support. And thank you for coming out and watching. I'm having a blast right now.
Fortune favors the infamous.
I probably need to get a new super chat donation thing. I like that one a lot, but I need to work in like another one so that the regular donations have a different one that plays. But the Fortune favors the infamous one's pretty good. I'm happy with it. Alright, we got main thing with Dawi campaign is just how long you're gonna get stuck using regular warriors and handgunners. Yeah, a lot of things are very expensive in SFO, and the economy does take a while to get going for a lot of factions, for sure. Even with Chaos, fielding like the high tier stuff, very challenging. What's my favorite faction in vanilla and SFO? It depends on lore, or whether it's lore or from like gameplay perspective. I like playing the Wood Elves a lot. Playing them is super fun. Like 5 Deepwood Scouts, 4 Wild Riders, spread the field, skirmish, charge, cycle charge all day. You can do a lot of fun stuff with the Wood Elves there. I really like playing them. I think they're really fun to play. In terms of lore, that's a bit harder. There are a lot of factions whose lore I adore in Warhammer Fantasy, man. I think High Elves are up there in terms of lore. I think Anarion the Defender's lore is amazing. I think the stand they had against Chaos is amazing. I think their characters are very interesting, and most of them are complex. So Tyrion, for example, yeah, like he's the big dick warrior who just goes in and slays stuff, and he's super brave and blah blah blah. But he's not very one-dimensional. Like, he's intelligent, and he succumbs to rage that really dramatically hurts the High Elves in multiple circumstances. And really any character that's complex, that has like shades of gray to them, morally gray, I think is the best way to put it, I'm gonna like. So I like the High Elves a lot. I like the Dark Elves a lot. I think the Empire has fantastic lore. Obviously, having humanity stand on the brink of chaos all the time is crazy. The factions that are a bit more one-dimensional in terms of lore, Lizardmen, Ogre Kingdoms, I love their backstories. I adore them. But they aren't complex characters. Mazda Mundi, I know everything except the things I don't know, and I'm going to blow stuff up with my mind. Like, there's not a whole lot to them. There's a reason they don't write many novels about Lizardmen. Ogres, they have some interesting ones. Goldfag, Maneater, and some others, but for the most part, relatively one-dimensional. Like to eat stuff. Greenskins, Grimgore, about as one-dimensional as it comes. Looking for a Crumpin, and that's pretty much it. I will say, though, if there were two places I would live in Warhammer Fantasy, it's definitely Ulthuan or in the holds with the Dawi. But like the best holds, like Karazak. If you're talking like any of those kind of tertiary holds that the Skaven and Greenskins are always coming into, hell no. That's horrifying. You're just gonna get melted by warp fire in one of those tunnels and you're gonna have a bad day. But I will say, sitting in the middle of the throne hall of Karazak with my boy Thorgrim, drinking some Bugman's Triple X brew, and chilling in those awesome caverns with all the gold and stuff, I'd be down for that. Not a lot of girls there, which is unfortunate. But from a pure, like, just chilling with my homies and drinking some brews, I think that'd be pretty fun. Thorgrim knows how to party. The dwarfs know how to party, that's for sure. Yeah, I need to get some of the... I need to open up that member thing on my channel and allow people get some custom-made emotes for the streams. I think that'd be fun. I've not delved into the whole membership thing on YouTube yet, but I imagine at least a few of you guys would be interested in that. And they can make streams even more entertaining. Alright. This is gonna be crazy. I can already tell. Greenskins and Chaos, it is pure madness, pure melee rush. This is gonna be football, guys. I don't know how much flanking there's gonna be in this. I don't know how much tactics is gonna be in this. It's gonna be smash mouth. Who can run over the other? Alright, we got Azag the Slaughterer. On Skull Muncher the Wyvern. He can summon zombies. He's got Lore of Death. He's got 520 weapon strength. He's a beast. We got a lot of Night Goblin Squig Hoppers for that AP and bonus for infantry, which you'd like to see. And the Wa is mean, and the Wa is green. Black Orcs for days. Big Guns, Savage Big Guns, Nasty Skulkers, Smash Mouth Football Man. That's what we're gonna see for Chaos. Sartorial, the Everwatcher, the Lord of Change, the Greater Demon of Tzeentch, and an avatar of the Lord of Knowledge. Knowledge. Sartorial, he's got 2 spells, Unholy Pact of the Changer. What other spells? He's got Enfeebling Foe and Melkos, it looks like. And it looks like he also has Searing Doom. Chaos Marauders, great weapons. On the front line. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Khorne Berserkers, hell yes. A glimpse, a taste of what Chaos will unleash in Game 3. They've literally got Shieldbiter's Rage. Except they don't have shields. They have amazing stats. 80 weapon strength. They can buff up their own melee. 100 armor. Huge weapon strength and bonus for infantry. And they have this really unique ability called Rage of the Blood God. Gives them crazy melee attack and makes them bleed over time as well. But they'll also imbue bleed damage on enemies, so they get DOT on top of it. So those are tied up in the main line. Might have trouble with the front line of Black Orcs, though. I'm not sure Chaos has enough on the front line to easily win the melee fight, but it doesn't have to be the melee fight that he wins. He just has to win with his support, and there is a lot of support. Sartorial and some Chaos Knights. Chaos Knights are different in Steel Faith Overhaul, of course, as many things are. Bonus for Large and AP. Pretty strong. Really strong in a cav fight. They are immune to Psych. They do cause fear. And they have that Chaotic Blessing, so their stats are even better than you see right there. on the flanks. Marauder Horsemasters, it looks like. Yep. Bonus for Slorge of how much? 15. So yeah, shooting in a cav would be pretty good. But there's not a lot of cav on the field for the Greenskins. It's mostly Night Goblin Squig Hoppers who will pretty much be doing this. Hitting them like Lawrence Taylor of the fridge. Right up the center. Smash through them. I don't know if it's going to be a very strategic game, but it is going to be a hell of a lot of fun to watch. Yeah, Chaos Knights are scary in SFO. Alright. We're ready. Savage Orc Big Guns in the back line. They'll deal with the Chaos Knights. And Black Orcs, front line. Oh my god. This is going to get crazy so quick. 1,800 Greenskins to 1,300 Chaos. Here we go. Opening skirmishes, going down, shooting at the great weapon units. That's probably the right call. They do not have a missile block chance. I am a little afraid for these Khorne Chosen Berserkers, because they do not trade well into very heavy AP units. They're really the kind of unit you want killing the Goblins and the Savage Orc Big Guns. They'll shish kebab them. But against Black Orcs, they will not have as much fun. They are quick too. 38 speed, definitely not bad for a heavily armored Chaos unit. There is an Orc Boar Chariot ready to go up the center. And it looks like Azag will be casting some Spirit Leeches. Or Buna? Which one? That's a Buna. Okay, that's an interesting choice. They have more HP in this mod. But Buna does something different too. It does 25% melee defense debuff and 25% melee attack debuff as well. But it doesn't kill models as well as Spirit Leech does. Spirit Leech is better for killing models. Buna will do more damage overall, but the magic resist seems to be kicking in pretty hard, and they're not taking too much damage. So I'm not sure he knew, but this is less of a DPS spell and more of a debuff spell in SFO. It will do damage though. Black Orcs and Marauders going into melee. Over on this flank, Orc Boar Chariot busting right through. Khorne Chosen Berserkers fighting it out with the Black Orcs who have popped their Wah. That's a big spell coming down. Looks like a Searing Doom probably. Yep, Searing Doom gonna rock down and do some very, very good damage. Black Orcs down to about 2/3 HP. Squig Hoppers bouncing out to this flank. Chaos Knights are looking to charge in. Spirit Leech going down on them. Did some very good damage. And on this flank, Buna, yeah, did about 1/5 of their HP. So nowhere near as impactful as it is in the base game, which I like because the pure DPS kind of makes me sad. So that debuff minus 25% melee attack though, pretty good. But he didn't use it correctly there. Savage Orc Big Guns are zoning out the Chaos Knights and running super fast. I love this move. That is so smart. Preventing them from making any impact on the battle. And Greenskins should, I would think, win the infantry fight pretty handily. But I don't know. Sartorial doing a pretty good job on this flank to turn it. And Black Orcs taking a lot of damage. Oh, here we go. Looks like a pendulum coming down too. Ooh. Very nice cast. Azag on the hunt, gonna tear out the Marauders on that side. Sartorial up to 36 kills right now. And it's a tale of two flanks right here, but that's gonna be a brutal Searing Doom. Look at that damage. That was pretty nice. And we got the Nasty Skulkers and 8 Peak Loonies flanking around, trying to get into the back of the Chaos line. Pretty even battle so far. Black Orcs destroying the Chaos Knights with lances and a Squig Hopper charge coming in from behind. Great way to eliminate one of the most threatening units on the field for Chaos. Zach doing a good job of winning on the right flank. But it looks like Cheramis doing a great job of controlling the right side of the battlefield. Sartorial now in a dangerous position though, and there's a terror route coming in. Khorne Chosen, again, not trading so well into Black Orcs. The Greenskin Wah looking very powerful, menacing on the battlefield right now and on their home turf in the shadow of the Pillar of Bone. They look to be in a relatively commanding lead. But Sartorial still in the fight for now. And another Pendulum could do so much damage here. Oh, Zach's gonna dodge it. Really well played. Very nice move from him there. Gonna dodge out of the way. Khorne Chosen Berserkers fighting it out on this side. But Squig Hoppers are munching them for dinner. And they're probably about to die. Black Orcs so strong in this engagement. 65 weapon strength. Definitely doing a really good job of clearing out the Marauders and the Khorne Chosen. Sartorial on life support right now. And the Chaos Knights are dead, done, and dusted, except for that unit. I don't think Chaos can win this now, barring some kind of miracle. Big charge coming in, but I'm not sure they even got their charge bonus off. And Squig Hoppers with all that AP swarming, getting in and behind. And Sartorial, seconds from dying here. Zinchi Lightning getting summoned, but it won't be enough to keep him alive. He's out of this fight, he's dead. And Big Bird falls. Azag now has free reign to land wherever he wants, to cause terror wherever he wants. And I think with the Chaos Knights routing here, with a rear charge, it might be army losses. And Zach gonna bring this back to 2-2. That's army losses. Greenskins winning in a 1v1 fight against Chaos. And Cheramis will concede. We're going to a game 5. It's what I like to see. Zach played that very well, but I think a lot of it came down to builds. Again, super heavy front line for the Black Orcs and Greenskins. A very powerful Waaagh, just getting stuck in there and murdering stuff. Khorne Chosen Berserkers are a good unit, and they are going to trade well into Goblins, into Savage Orcs, into a lot of Greenskin units, but not into Black Orcs, and he brought 4 of them, which honestly, playing as Chaos against Greenskins, you should probably expect to see. So they got a lot of kills, but probably not enough to pay for themselves. And the Chaos Knights got zoned out really well by those Savage Orc Big Guns, who just prevented them from hammer and anviling, which was the only way Cheramis was going to turn that fight in his favor. Maybe a few too many Marauders, maybe not quite enough AP, and looks like Greenskins are going to take it. Convincingly as well. Damn. Very well played. Those Squig Hoppers, we've seen them every time Greenskins have been brought in this tournament, and they have paid for themselves incredibly well. When you go infantry heavy and these guys swarm on you, they're going to hurt. They're going to hurt a lot. Very good game. He had some very good Searing Dooms that game that hit big blobs of infantry, but he didn't have any of those big game-changing spells. And frankly, his front line didn't have enough time to really benefit from the heals anyway. I think a few more Chaos Warriors with great weapons, maybe even a couple Chosen with great weapons, might have been better than the Khorne Chosen there. Alright, going into a game 5. This is for all the marbles now. Yeah, I don't know if Undivided Chosen would have done it either. Great melee defense, but what are they gonna do against Black Orcs? They'll still get chunked down. What the hell is up with my laptop? Wi-Fi on this thing is shenanigans. Alright. So it looks like they're having a little bit of trouble figuring out which factions they want to play for this final game. I'm trying to think what we haven't seen yet. We have not seen Vampire counts. We have not seen Wood Elves. And it looks like Zach might be playing High Elves here. Trying to get my chat back. Wi-Fi keeps cutting out on my laptop. Thank God it's not doing it on my actual Ethernet cord computer. That'd be a big issue, right? I love this OST. Let's find a real banger. Yo, pass me that aux cord. What you playing? I'm playing some Bloodlust. Do 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 do. Yeah, we have not seen Empire. I would like to see some Empire too. I'd be down for that. I'd like to see some Bretonnia, some heavy cav action. That could be fun. Ba 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 ba. SFO, it's a cool mod. Sigvald knows where you live. He's coming for that booty. I'm a snack. I'm a sneaky little slippery snake. Alright, let's see how they're doing. We're back into the game here. We've got a $2 donation from Cameron Rogers. Can't wait for the Dawi Czar in Game 3. Me neither, man. Seeing steam trains of heavy artillery and powerfully armored warriors with swarms of hobgoblins and slave black orcs. Not black orcs. Slave greenskins. Will be a good time. All the black orcs screwed off like 1,000 years ago. They're like, I'm tired of being a slave. And they killed a bunch of people and they ran away. Grimgor was one of those. I don't know how old Grimgor is. He's really big and really strong. And orcs do not die of old age. They just keep getting bigger. So I would imagine he's pretty old.
Fortune favors the infamous.
Oh, I would love to see some Lizards Empire. That would be fun. Bring me to my men. Alright, looks like we're getting Lizardmen Tomb Kings as the final game, and I need to change the map. What is the map? It is the Golden Colossus. To round it all out, Lizardmen on their home turf. Can the old ones carry the day here? Can they push back the tides of Shaiish? Can they forge a new path? We will find out soon enough. Now, I'm excited for this matchup because Lizardmen have a lot of changes in SFO. Again, like you'd expect from pretty much anything in a total overhaul mod. The Lizardmen have Blessings of the Gods. So what you can do with a lot of units is pick a Blessed Spawning unit. Bring them in, and then you have a choice of 4 or 5 different marks to give that unit. It's much like the way the Chosen marks have been implemented for Chaos. You can give them the Blessing of Huachi, the Jaguar, which gives them stalk and speed, and some additional melee attack. Or you can go for tankiness, missile resist, and additional armor. There are different marks for each of the units in the game. So the Solar Engine can get missile resist, which is super good if you want to trade an artillery duel, or you could give it better melee stats and all that stuff. So any of the Blessed Spawnings, you can pick how they are marked when the game starts. And then they're stuck with that mark for the rest of the game. So I like that a lot. There are a couple ones that are a little bit busted. There is a Blessing of Huachi Blessed Carnosaur that I think has 105 move speed and stalk. A stalk Carnosaur is pretty scary. But to be fair, it dies relatively quickly. It is a feral Carnosaur, so it still dies. But powerful. Some powerful stuff there for sure. For the Tomb Kings, as we mentioned earlier, they have their Legions of Legend. The Regiments of Renown that were only in campaign exclusive. And they have a couple unique ones there. So they have the Legion of Usirian, which is a spectral Nehekaran warrior unit. They are like Karen Wraiths, kind of, with a bonus for infantry, I believe. And they have the Necropolis Knights, which are huge HP pool, poison, massive melee attack, and melee defense with halberds. Monster hunters can kill pretty much any single entity in the game if they get a full surround off. So I would love to see one of those as well. Would I like to see more CA original characters in Warhammer? Well, I think Celastra was done pretty well from a gameplay perspective. I don't love her lore. I definitely don't love her aesthetic. Is it funny and over the top and Warhammery? Yes. Does it count as lore now? Absolutely. It's signed off on by Games Workshop themselves and written by Games Workshop employees. So yeah, it's lore. She's not my favorite character, but is she fun to play? Yes, I did a full campaign with her and I loved it. Do I want more CA original characters? I think for a faction like Cathay, sure. For Chaos, for Chaos Dwarfs, for Ogre Kingdoms, I don't think it's necessary. Demons of Chaos got all the characters they need in their army book right now. They don't need to worry about that stuff. So, yes, if Cathay ever happens, if Kislev ever happens, I'm okay with maybe one lord for each of those factions being made up, kind of coming out of left field or super obscure. But even Kislev, for example, they've got the head of the Griffin Legion, could be a legendary lord. They have Boris Ursun. They have Zarina Katarina, or Zarina Katarin. They've got plenty of characters to flesh them out anyway. Cathay, less so, but Dragon Emperor, Monkey King, some random Vizier, like, they've got stuff to choose from too. Cathay's a big ask, man. I would love to see them. They would sell like hotcakes. That DLC would be the best-selling DLC of all time. As we saw with Three Kingdoms, China does have some sway in the market. Although I don't know. Let me know in the comment section. Let me know, chat. Can you play Warhammer 2 in China without pirating it? Is it available on Steam? Because I know that skeletons are a big no-no in Chinese culture. Or at least elements of it. That seeing the undead, I don't know the exact reasoning, that maybe it's seen as like disrespectful or like too death-like, which of course undead would be. But I don't think that skeletons, that's why they reworked Wraith King, for instance, in Dota 2. You're not allowed to have Skeleton King anymore. They changed him to Wraith King because Skeleton King was seen as offensive. So I don't know if you can play like vampire counts in China. I'm not sure. Cathay is China. Japan is Nippon in Warhammer 2. Or in Warhammer, which is, I mean, they are the least creative names I've ever heard, but... Yeah, Forsaken in World of Warcraft does not show bones in WoW. But is that a Chinese exclusive thing, or is it period? Forsaken don't have bones. Okay, Chinese localization. Alright. So there is a game. I don't know what they do for them, though. If they reskin them, or what? Make sure we check chat here. Alright, Zach is still working on his build, but he should be done very soon. And then we're into Game 5. The finals, the grand finals of this epic 4-man tournament. We've got some good ones for sure. Maybe a little bit too much football for my liking. There hasn't been a ton of overwhelming skirmishing, but I think that might be partly due to the funds. And the HP pools in SFO are very high, so it can be hard to make the skirmish work for you. Cheramis tried to make it work with the Dark Elves against Norska. Almost did. If he brought down that Mammoth, he might have been able to. But, the Ice Wolves, they can shut down kiting builds pretty hard. Looks like we're not going to get to see Wood Elves today. Ready up, my boys. Let's get it poppin'. Tomb Kings and Lizardmen. Now, on paper, who would I say has the advantage here? I think Tomb Kings, in the base game, Tomb Kings are definitely a better faction. In my opinion. Lizardmen are very good. In fact, a lot of people right now think they're top tier after Prophet and the Warlock. I don't necessarily disagree. And I think both absolutely have tools to deal with. But the Great Bow Ushabti, their focus fire on stuff could be the game changer in this fight. And they're going to be a lot of juicy targets for sure. On the flip side, you get a couple Stegos into the middle of their line. They can run through even Tomb Guard, no problem whatsoever. Tomb Kings are pretty brittle. And this map is relatively large, relatively conducive to skirmishing, but it does have some dips in it that could maybe mess with line of sight a bit. Make it easier for Zach to get into melee. I think that Croak is a very decent choice here, yeah. We might see some pizzas get delivered. Domino's, special order style. Because those deliverance of pizzas will completely decimate hordes of skeletons. It's for all the marbles, folks. What are you guys feeling? Let me know in the chat. You rooting for Zaxbane? You rooting for Cheramis? Who do you think's gonna win? Tomb Kings or Lizardmen? Alright, here we go. Thoughts about the new Lord pack? I don't know what it's gonna be, man. I really don't. It all comes down to whether it's cross game or not. There's only one cross game Lord pack that there's no way they'd skip if they did it. It's Eltharion and Grom. But besides that, it's impossible to guess. Oh, that's a tough one, I Am Dream. Rooting for Zach, but Tomb Kings are your favorite faction? I would like to see some Khalida. I love my girl Khalida. She is my favorite Lord on the Tomb Kings roster. First campaign I ever played with them in early access. And the campaign that I first saw that gorgeous, that beautiful, that top tier Book of Nagash army. Mortgan, Wrathbringer of Haskanesh. I talked about it in one of my earlier campaign videos, but I imagine a lot of you guys don't know about it because you didn't see it, but I am in Total War Warhammer 2. So is Turin, so is Total Biscuit. May he rest in peace. John Dubane is a Book of Nagash army. Nicolandor, Blade of Skolaril, is Turin, and he is a Book of Nagash army. And Mortgan, Wrathbringer of Haskanesh, is ya boy, Indie Pride from Milk and Cookies Total War. A play off my real name. So that was like the coolest thing ever, honestly. Like to actually make it in. Like I saw that and I literally did a double take. They didn't tell me about it at all. I moused over the army and I said, yeah, that looks kind of familiar. What the hell is that? Oh look, boys. We in Warhammer 2. I've been trying to set up a Book of Nagash army, like with a mod, to play against Turin, so that he'd be Nicolandor, Blade of Skolaril, and I would be Mortgan, Wrathbringer of Haskanesh. I haven't been able to set it up. I haven't been able to find a mod that lets you play those armies. Alright. Army compositions here. Zach. Saurus front line, as you would expect, with the cohort of Sotek, refuse to die, prevents them from losing models. Here, we have the Umbral Tide. They do have lethal poison. They do deal DOT damage over time when they're in melee. Obviously, they deal damage over time. They have immune to vigor and bonus versus large on their very powerful missile attacks. Temple Guard out on the left flank do have spawning vigor, which means that they are very hard to make exhausted. And Temple Stand gives them a very nice combat steroid, especially if they're fighting large units. Saurus, a lot of red crested skinks, a lot of AP, a lot of missiles, or rather missile block. Temple Guard, and where's your lord at? We got Krotgar on Grimlock. Legendary. 600 weapon strength. And guess what? He brought that Hand of the Gods. You're going to want to use that against our lords and heroes, man. They are flammable. They will take a tremendous amount of damage to that, and a Feral Carnosaur to back them up. Over here, we've got some Pterodons. The Pawok Sentinels for dropping rocks. Pretty powerful. And for Cheramis. This is for all the marbles, guys. All the marbles right now. Necrosphinx for killing dinos. And killing dinos is what it's good at. We got Satra the Imperishable on that Cambrian War Sphinx too. What spells does he have? Wrath of Patra, Usek's Incantation of Desiccation, really good in a duel. Physical Resist, and Jaff's Incantation of Cursed Blades. If he alternates that Incantation of Protection and Cursed Blades to very low cooldown, low cost spells, he could heal up his entire army tremendously and hit the healing cap just by that alone. Well, I say that, there's no healing cap in SFO. But it won't matter too much here because they don't have many heals that actually work on their normal frontline infantry. So Cambrian War Sphinx and Necrosphinx will be dueling. Ushabti Great Bows on the flanks. Skeleton Spearmen in the flanks and rear. Tomb Guard Halberds, Tomb Guard frontline, and some Nehekara Horsemen to do some harrying and harassing. I'm liking both builds. And it's going to come down to the duel between Cetra, Necrosphinx, and the two Carnosaurs. That's going to be a crazy good fight. Now, if you remember, in the last SFO Grand Tournament we did, there was an amazing fight. I think Cheramis was the Tomb King's player in it. He brought Tomb Kings there, did a very similar thing. Had Cetra on the Cambrian War Sphinx, had that Necrosphinx, this gorgeous construct from the deep dark desert, and those bladed size, man. They messed up Kolek. They messed up the baby Dragon Ogre Shagus, and with a sick Burning Head play, where he forced the Chaos Army to destroy their own front line with a Burning Head when he retreated. I think Cheramis was the one who did that. I'm really sorry if it was someone else. Whoever played Tomb Kings in that battle managed to win it. Here, could see a similar thing. I have not seen the caster for the Lizardmen. Looks like a Lore of Beasts caster. And he's got Transformation of Kadon and Pants. What is that? Yeah, Pants, Impenetrable Pelt. These are the builds. Let's get into the action. Game 5, final match of the tourney. Here we go. If you want people to get a sick prize pool, feel free to drop some super chats. Here we go. Saurus Warriors, Cohort of Stotek, Lizardmen, channeling the fury of the old ones. And the Pawok Sentinels on Overwatch, ready to drop some rocks as well. Alright, well, first off, the big question is, can the Tomb Kings skirmish him down on the way in? You're going to see him shift his line for sure. His left flank will probably end up something like about right here. And he'll probably keep this caldera to his back. Use these rocks to protect his right flank. That's what I would do. But you got to give those Ushabti Great Bows some time to fire. Are they in range yet? Not yet. Yeah, Tomb Kings do look sick. Let's take a look real quick. We got time. I love that. The Golden Mask aesthetic, the Undead aesthetic, they are one of the coolest factions in the game. Definitely one of the best DLCs CA have ever done. My god, look at that War Kitty. Show me your War Kitty! Meow! And a Necrosphinx to back them up. That monstrous duo, gonna be hard for the Lizardmen to deal with, but they've got the tools. Now, very high armor on this thing. Shem's Burning Gaze does have a decent AP component, but it won't like one-shot him in this mod. If it was Ark in the Black or Khalida, it could certainly do a lot more damage from that Shem's Burning Gaze, but Cetra can definitely tank that out. They're gonna shadow. It's gonna be a big monstrous duel, and I think a lot of this game is gonna hinge on that. He does have some cover right now. He'll probably have to get committed to melee pretty soon here because he is outranged. Doesn't have a lot of line-breaking dinos. That's not what the Carnosaurs are good for. I like doing this though. This is super smart. Wait till your main line's engaged, then you can go in. He's given no sign of what he's doing right now. And we've got, let's see, numbers-wise. Yeah, pretty similar in terms of numbers as well. Looks like the Saurus Warriors are taking some damage from the Ushabti Great Bows. And the Umbral Tide, great choice here. because they do fire. Whoa! Their missiles are not flaming. That's interesting. No, never mind. I was looking at it wrong. Okay, ammunition is flaming. I was like, what? That's so bizarre. They are flaming. So they could be very good on top of Cetra. Saurus going in, Tomb Guard going in, and the Necro Sphinx and Khemrian War Sphinx getting stuck in. I like that flank from the Cohort of Sotek, though. They could cause some serious havoc in the back line. Some good shots going the way of the Pawok Sentinels, but he's doing a good job keeping out on the flank there. Saurus, Shem's Burning Gaze missed. It missed. I don't know if some of them hit the shot blocker right there, but it did 0 damage. And that's a waste of a big magic missile. That's unfortunate. Oh my god. Those Cohort of Sotek will pop, refuse to die, but their damage, I mean their HP is going to drop like crazy here. Krakgar and the Feral Carnosaur need to get stuck in, and those Umbral Tide are getting shredded by the Great Bows. Alright, here we go. Important duel coming up here. Carnosaurs on the prowl. Can they get in and amongst the Tomb King stuff? Temple Guard are right there. That's a fine fight to take. Pawok Sentinel's going to tie down the Great Bows, and the Umbral Tide still firing in. Doing a pretty good job. Saurus and Feral Carnosaur running over Nehakarn Horsemen on the right flank, and will maybe look to get into the back line. Charamis will back up, and a transformation of Kadan going down as more shots arc in. Necrosphinx hasn't taken a tremendous amount of damage so far, but it looks like the front line engagement is going the way of the Lizardmen. Needs to get his Pawok Sentinels out of those halberds for sure, and he is going right in to deal whatever damage he can in the back line with that summon. But it's not going to be long for this world, man. Not going to be long for this world at all. Oh, nice. He's going to escape, actually. Going to be able to pull out. Ooh. Could be a juicy, juicy spell here. But there's no Vortex on the field. So, Krakgar, up to 26 kills. And both players being very conservative, actually. I think, honestly, the Halberds and Cetra should be going at Krakgar right now. The Feral Carnosaur is not in that spot, but Zach is doing a great job of tying down the Ushabti Great Bows in the back lines. This is exactly what you want to do with that summon. And the Necrosphinx and Cetra are starting to get chunked down a bit by those Umbral Tide, but they rampaged. Will Zach notice it and get them under control? Cold-blooded, very nice. But Charamis doing a good job of getting Cetra and the Necrosphinx on top of those now, and might be able to hunt them down. Another summon. Feral Manticore getting into the Ushabti Great Bows. So much value is being generated in the back line here with those summons, and nothing to protect them. Needs those halberds back there to protect. The Krakgar and the Feral Carnosaur on the hunt into the rear of the Necrosphinx. Charamis doing a great job of running behind the safety of his own infantry. But Temple Guard in that fight too. Looks like a Usex incantation of desiccation. Big debuff in this duel. Cetra starting to take a lot of damage. Hitting Jaff's incantation of Cursed Blades as well. Umbral Tide did get under control. They are back. Not firing right now. Cetra is getting melted. He needs to get out of that fight. Incantation of Protection, giving him 44% physical resist, and Curse will hit everything. Nice cast there too, but taking so much damage, and the Carnosaurs are on the prowl. Can the Necrosphinx save the War Kitty? The Lizardmen are taking a commanding lead in the infantry fight. Temple Guard so tanky, but still a pretty even fight overall. And Cetra will go back and see off those transformation of Kadans. And here we go. In a 1v1 fight, I think Necrosphinx probably wins this. Oh, some good attacks into the rear. But both Carnos are free, and they are on the prowl. Going after the War Kitty. Ushabti Great Bows might just have to sacrifice themselves. Not been able to fire a lot of their ammo. Oh man, it all hinges on this duel right here. This is everything. Tomb Guard are starting to win on the right flank for sure. They're pushing through. I love how even this game is. Oh my god. Attack into the rear of Cetra. Cannot afford to lose your lord at this point in the battle. Even the Necrosphinx is losing to the Feral Carnosaur right now. And Cetra's gonna die. Pin in place. Cetra goes down. Khemrian War Sphinx is out of the fight. But this game is far from being over. But if he loses the Necrosphinx too, it's gonna be incredibly hard to bring this one back. Getting gooned up on. The duet of dinosaurs. killing the game right now, but halberds swarming in. Pan's impenetrable pelt giving him a ward save too. Necrosphinx 1400 HP, and the halberds are swarming, and a huge surround off on Kronkgar as Ushabti Greatbow's firing as well, but he's gonna bounce his way out. Got 4200 HP left. Balance bar still dead even 7 minutes into this game. Now, if I'm Cheramis here, I'd probably pull these guys further back. Oh my god, the Necrosphinx just went down. That's huge. You need to get this out of that fight. It's too close to the main line. If you let that Kronkgar charge through and start killing you, you're gonna be in trouble, Cheramis. Here we go. Carnosaurs are making such a huge impact on this game. Shutting down the Ushabti Greatbows. They won the duel against Cetra, who were not able to kind of reinvigorate that magic they had against Chaos in the last SFO tournament. And Zach is winning at the moment. The bounce bar is still relatively even, and he's got a lot of infantry to cut through. And Kronkgar is taking so much damage from these shots. Honestly, though, Cheramis needs to pull this back, though. Like, he needs to create some space and some angles, use those infantry to support him. Swiftness of Itzel gonna go off and create some more space for Kronkgar. This is going down right to the wire. A lot of Lizardmen units are routing and wavering. There's a lot of halberds on the field. Feral Carnosaur and Kronkgar are low. Oh my god. This is so close right now. Even with the Necrosphinx and with Cetra out of the fight, it's not over. And an Ushabti summon about to come in too, I think. You might have canceled it to hold on to it for a later fight. Using that to pin him in place could be a really good idea. I'm not sure if you can cancel the animation though, once you cast it. I saw that Ushabti get summoned, but they didn't come through. If he still has that, that's a huge spell. A game-changing spell in his back pocket. I like what Kronkgar's doing. This Heidi dinosaur, this clever girl, just hanging out behind a tree. A brilliant tacticianship from Zach's Bane right now. And the Feral Carnosaur doing what he can. Not going to get a lot of kills here. Infantry faltering a bit, but Temple Guard up to 91. Oh man, this is going to come right down to the wire. This is insane for Game 5. I love it. And Vendors just said, summon Ushabti and SFO get 50% more models. You cannot have your Carnosaur fighting the halberds. He's going to get dragged through the muck. They do have, I think, a Bone Crusher contact effect, or rather Cavalry Bane, yeah. Cavalry Bane, look at this. Halberds really good at preventing cycle charging in SFO because of that ability. Minus 75% acceleration, really dragging that Feral Carnosaur through the muck, and he is going to rout. I think Kronkgar needs to get in the fight, man. I think Tomb Kings might have this. I don't know. The Temple Guard are going to be so hard to kill, but if he has a full Ushabti summon left, Cheramis might be able to take this game. My god, this is so close. I swear to god, if you take out the Necrosphinx and Cetra, 9 times out of 10 you win this game. Both the Feral Carnosaur and Kronkgar were at half HP. But all these halberds and the Ushabti Greatbow still online, still firing in, and they are racking up a tremendous amount of damage. Can these skinks turn the fight? Does he have any more spells that can turn this? Temple Guard taking it out like a boss. But can they hold the line here? Feral Carnosaur back into the fight. 52 kills now. He's going to go right through and get into those Ushabti Greatbow and start killing them. They need to die. And now Kronkgar sees his opportunity. He's going to get in as well. Nice job from Zach to get in and behind. But a nice rear charge from Nadkar and Horseman to overlap that engagement. This is just Muhammad Ali versus George Foreman. And we are seeing some crazy back and forth heavyweight fights going on here. Kronkgar bounding into the fight now. Ushabti summon trying to pin Kronkgar in place. And they are going to come out now. 50% more models, but they will degen over time. 15,000 HP. Look at the balance bar. Shift from that. Ooh, that's a huge swing in the Tomb King's favor. You need to make sure the Greatbows die, and once they're completely dead, I think you run away from those Ushabti and make them just waste their life by degenning over time. Now look, I think that's what Zach is gonna do here. But Krotgar might rout. That's army losses. That's game. That was such a crazy game. Charamis takes it. Game 5 goes his way, and with it, Faith, Steel, and Grimhammer prize pool will go his way as well. That's the second SFO tournament he wins, but Zach put up a glorious fight there. That was so impressive. Really well played from both players. He controlled Krotgar, the Feral Carnosaur, so well. But I think the game changer there was the Cavalry Bane from the Tomb Guard Halberds. Completely new in SFO. Contact effect that does not exist in vanilla. It makes Halberds much more impactful and scary against single entities and cavalry. And they slowed him down tremendously. Anytime that Feral Carnosaur tried to get through the line and get at those Ushabti Great Bows, there were Halberds just there to chop him up, slow him down, deal a lot of damage, and he just got dragged through the mud. Could not get into the back line as easily as he wanted. But in terms of the actual duel, the Cetra and the Necrosphinx, very convincing win from the Lizardmen there. And honestly, Zach played that very well. Managed to get a ton of rear attacks into the Necrosphinx and Cetra, killed them off relatively easily. But from there, I'm surprised the Tomb Kings managed to stay in the fight with their leadership. Tomb Guard Halberds killed the game. Angel or Angel, thank you so much for the $20 donation. Really appreciate it. And, wow, that was a crazy game. So Charamis looks like he'll be taking that prize pool. Don't know exactly what it is yet. I'll try to count that up in a second here. He'll be taking 25% of that home. And upgraded incantation of debuffs didn't save my Cetra. Yeah, man. I think Zach played that duel so well. Those Carnosaurs were just on the hunt that entire game. And Charamis is a veteran of those kind of engagements. He used his Necrosphinx and Cetra very well. But Zach played that duel part even better, but it still was not quite enough. Tomb Guard carried the day. Great game. Super fun to watch. Yeah. Tomb Guard Halberds carried that like crazy. Nah, I think people are sleeping on Lizardmen too much. Lizardmen right now in vanilla are straight up top 5 faction in the game, no question about it. Whether you're seeing a bunch of losses from them on YouTube or not is irrelevant. You ask any competitive, like top tier multiplayer player, Lizardmen are really good. And they're even better in SFO. They've got blessed spawning units that are amazing. He played well. Charamis played well, but again, army composition is a huge factor there, and the Halberds were the game changer. For sure. Yeah, great games, guys. GG's. Alright. Let's take a look if there were any donations that I missed here. We're going to refresh Streamlabs. Take a look. No, it was all Super Chats. Okay. So I don't see any that were on the donations page. It was all Super Chat. And I will not be able to count that up until I look back at the stream. But pretty good turnout, for sure. And we had 1,200 people on stream for the majority of it. Really enjoyed this Face Deal and Grimhammer SFO tournament. Thank you guys for turning out and enjoying. I definitely really enjoyed casting it, and I'll be doing some more of these for sure very soon. So Charamis will take 25% of that prize pool. I'll look at what the prize pool is. I might send some additional his way. I don't know yet. We'll see what it's looking like. And hope you guys enjoyed watching, man. I need some food. I need some water. If you got any questions, feel free to shoot them right now. We can hang out for a minute or two. But after that, I'm going to eat some food. And I'm going to peace out. And enjoy the rest of my Sunday. Maybe go swimming. I don't think I'm forgetting anything. Am I? Imagine eating food. Yeah, it's crazy, right? Thanks for turning out, guys. Really appreciate the support. And we'll be doing this again very, very soon. Oh, yeah. Looks like we're going to call it here. Thank you guys for coming out, and I will see you all in the next video. Indie Pride. Signing out for now. Have a good one, guys.
Almighty Sigma, savior of the Empire, give me strength. For though I dedicated my life to eradicating it, it feeds, it grows, devouring all. There must be a final answer to halt its advance. But the tide of war seems endless. Unthinking bloodlust of the Greenskins, the twisted ambitions of the undead. Though the brave dwarven kingdoms stand with us, truly, what hope is there? Against countless horrors that cannot be named, let alone fought by mortal means. And yet all this is nothing before what is to come. It whispers and roars in. The dark it is. Against us it is unstoppable. I am unstoppable. I see it now. The beasts that will devour.